Summon Sign is brought to you by you. If you want to learn how to support our show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 127 of Summon Sign, Last Stand Media's weekly in-depth game discussion podcast. I'm your host, as always, Brad Ellison. Joining me, I have an all-star cast. First of all, of course, Mr. Colin Moriarty. Colin, hello. Once again, doubling down with the sportswear. I like it.
Oh yeah, it's just I mean, it's 90 degrees out or something. So but it's cold. You know, here in America, we like to keep the AC going. To the point where sometimes you got to walk outside because it's too cold in your house.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
God bless USA.
Like when I like go smoke a joint or whatever at night in the garage, and sometimes I'm like, and it's really fucking hot in the garage, and I'm like, this actually feels kind of nice because it's so cold in my house.
It's like a swamp bayou Colin out there. I like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm in the north south. It's like, it's horrifying in like Alabama right now or something, or Mississippi, whatever.
You need to sit on your porch with a rocking chair, Colin.
Oh yeah,
and a banjo just on the side. Yeah,
that'd be pretty sick.
That's what I need. That's the kind of Colin I want. The Southern dandy, Southern man Colin. Yes, I want that to be a reality. Like an old white suit or whatever, the hat, of course.
Oh yes, I do declare.
Yeah. Oh, it do be hot out today in the vapors. And joining us, the secret weapon of LSM, I would say.
Certainly.
Our European ally, a strong ally, Mr. Lockmort.
Hello.
How are you today? Or evening for you?
It's evening. It's Sunday evening. I love it because normally when I record with you guys, it's always after like a busy day of work or like after like a day of doing all kinds of shit. But today, it's Sunday, so there was not much to do. So I have energy now, which is going to be very different than usual, I think. And it's very cold in here too. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's very cold in here too because I have AC. So
yes,
but I don't go outside. So.
What's your temperature of choice? What are you doing?
Well, it's in Celsius, so it's 8. My perfect temperature is going to be very cold. It's 18 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
18. I'm looking it up right now.
Translation.
Wait, it did it the wrong direction. 64.4 degrees. That's pretty cold.
That's pretty cold.
They might arrest you in your home country for using so much electricity.
Well, they will probably arrest me at the end of the year when I can't pay my electric bill. Yeah. Thank you, Russia. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. I keep mine at 72 in the house, which is 22.2 degrees Celsius. And then when I go to sleep, because we have two zones, I put the zone upstairs up to 60. I'm sorry, that's not right. 68 Fahrenheit, which is 20 degrees Celsius. I have no like, it's so funny if you grow up in these systems, kilometers. I'm not saying it all makes perfect sense. Like I love, I like that we do it our way, but
sure.
I understand they all intertwine and they all make sense. And there's like 1,000 meters and a kilometer. And it's like very cool, but I have no mental visual.
Correct. Yeah.
Or like feeling, I'm like, I know exactly what 70 degrees Fahrenheit is, like what it feels like, what that is. I know what a mile is, a mile and a half. I can see that in my mind's eye. Everyone's like, it's 3 kilometers away and it's going to be about 22 degrees Celsius. And I'm like, well, might as well be going to Venus.
Yeah, I'm lost.
But it makes sense. Like you said,
it does make sense.
Right?
It does make sense.
Like 1,000 meters is like 1 kilometer. 1 kilometer. You guys have like 20 feet in a yard is 12 gallons of whatever. Like
it's complete nonsense. It's total nonsense. And I was saying on a recent show, I like that we do it our own way, and I like that we resist doing it. But when I was a little kid, and Brad, you might remember this. You're a little younger than me, but I was saying that when I was like very little, there was a move to go to metric. Like in the United States, in like the late 80s, early 90s, like that was the last time there was like a concerted push apparently in the United States to try to do it. And they were trying to like teach it and do all that. And everyone's like, no.
We're Americans. We don't do that. We throw the tea in the harbor.
They did the same thing in like Sweden or something, because Sweden or one of those Nordic countries also was working on their own system. And I think then in the 60s, 70s or 80s, they also switched to the metric system.
Interesting.
And it caused chaos for like a month. But after that, everyone was used to it. That's so funny. I didn't know you guys refused to do that. Well, good for you, I guess.
That's happened multiple times, apparently. That's just the latest time. And I don't think it'll ever happen again. I mean, right now, the big fight is, should we get rid of daylight savings time?
Oh,
yes.
Or make it permanent. The basically making a decision on what you're going to do. And I think they're getting pretty close to that. But the problem is that the reason it exists is because it is a compromise. Because there's going to be a lot of people that are really upset if we keep it. And there's going to be a lot of people that are really upset if we lose the hour, make it brighter in the mornings, for instance. And you have different priorities. Like if you're a student going to school in the morning, we send our kids to school so comically early in the morning for no reason. So like you're going to have them out. Like it's so funny. It's like, oh, first period's like 7:40. I'm like 7:40. What?
Oh my God.
And they're like, it's preparing you for the real world. I'm like, no one goes to work at 7:40. There's obviously like, blue collar. I'm not saying no one, but like that's not a 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
9 to 5.
Yeah.
You ever hear that?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But it's not going to matter. We're all going away soon anyway.
Isn't it created for isn't it for farmers that they did that? Because
it was originally a thing to buy time during harvest.
Yeah, because that still exists. So how are they going to solve that then?
All machines do it now, so I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, fuck them.
We have robot slaves in the fields now. Absolutely. I shouldn't say that. That sounds like I'm referencing like, we used to have slaves too. I didn't mean it like that. We have robot servants.
Servants, that's right. Co-workers. We have robot co-workers.
We have robot peers.
Yeah, peers. Hey everybody, before we get into the show, please check us out on patreon.com. You can get patreon.com/laststandmedia. You can get early ad-free access to all of our shows. Ad-free, early access. Please check it out. It's going to be a good week, dude, to hop in there. Summer Game Fest is coming up. We have a lot of content planned. It's going to be fun. A lot of good shows. I'm going to try to get a live section or a live version of Summon Sign going with COG or something during Summer Game Fest. Hopefully we can make that happen. I don't know. It's going to be chaos and he'll be very busy, so I don't really know, but hopefully I can. Because sadly, Dustin won't be with me this time. Well, not sadly, he's got the baby coming, so that's definitely
he could do it.
I mean, if he wanted to be,
choosing not to. He doesn't care that much.
If you wanted to care about the company, do you know what I mean?
If he wanted to care about you. If you wanted to care about you.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the whole thing.
Exactly.
He's supposed to be your man. That's my man.
Yep. Well, I'm getting replaced by the baby. It is.
Don't worry. I was thinking of Dustin's going to get replaced on Sacred Symbols because I was thinking about having some guests on for the first time. But I know what Dustin's going to be afraid of, which is going to be like, they're going to like them more than me.
Yeah. That's what happens with every show.
Right. And then I'm like, but you have to understand, I don't care. Like I was thinking about it, there's a few names in mind. We'll see. I don't think he won't stay away for more than a few weeks, probably from the show. I would assume.
I hope he stays away longer.
Well, but what I'm saying is, first of all, he knows for me, he can do whatever he wants. I'm not going to like, you can stay away for 3 or 4 or 5 months if you want. I don't care. I'll still pay you and whatever. It doesn't matter. But I think he's going to do like a staged, staggered sort of thing. And I think that he'll like come back and start doing the show without doing anything else. But that's because he wants to do that.
Yeah.
And I think it comes from that. Like, I don't want the audience to, and I'm like, do you worry too much? I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm no fool.
I can think of a couple people you'll have on off the top of my head.
Yeah. There's a few. Yeah. We'll see. And Lockmort, I loved when you said that you would get the video done on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. That really made me, that was awesome.
Here we go, dude.
Look, if it's something that's not mine, like last year I did the Streaming Addicts. I always had them done on time, right? Like I was always with my deadline. Today, the Finding Duke was done on time. When Dustin goes away, I swear to you, to God, everything will be done on time. These edits, they're organic, like they grow. Right. So I can't put a time on it. So when you asked me a time, I was like, oh shit, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
And by the way, it wasn't on any of those days. You didn't get it to me on any of those days. I know. I feel bad almost saying it because I feel like I'm kidding. I don't care.
I know. Of course.
So I don't want you to feel like I'm really rushing or whatever.
Yeah.
We had an improv. What is that live already? Did we put it live yet? I don't know.
No. Because Dustin is away this weekend, so we have to wait until he's back. But
I was gonna bother him this weekend. Like I cut out this like 30-second Chris Chan video of him like a recording he made for a girl where it was like him saying goodnight to the girl, and I was just gonna send it to him last night.
Oh my god!
But then I was like, I should really just leave him alone. I gotta just leave him alone. Just leave him alone.
I watched that edit. And I know that edit took a long time to find those clips Good Lord.
Well, that's the problem, right? I keep adding. I know it's annoying because I shouldn't have said Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday. I know that's stupid of me.
No, I thought that was hysterical.
These things always grow organically. Like I work on them, and then the next day I wake up and I think, we have to do this differently, and then I insert something else. But this one took a very long time. I think this is the longest I've ever worked on a single one because there's so many clips from so many different shows. But yeah,
it's funny. It's very funny.
I think
please enjoy out there.
Yeah, please enjoy. Whenever it goes live. Don't know when.
Yeah.
But look forward to it. Please,
Monday,
please
Tuesday, or Wednesday.
Yeah. Also, if you want some merch, go to lastdaymedia.store. You'll get merch sent to your house from the Moriarty's house. Their very own house.
Oh, hell
Michael will send it you.
Oh, hell yes.
You ever thought of giving him a little bonus call, like maybe kissing the shirt before you send it off?
Rubbing it on myself?
Yeah.
I mean, it's in our garage. Like we have like all this cabinetry built in our garage to like store things. And that's where I like sit and hang out and tinker and smoke. So you're getting a little bit of my aura and my essence. I think when you order a shirt or a sweatshirt or whatever.
Okay.
I was in the garage yesterday at like 4 a.m, smoking a joint before I went to bed. And I thought I heard like the scurrying of like a small creature somewhere. Oh. And it made me really nervous because I'm like, wait, what? Why are you? And then I remember living in a city, cities, and dude, mice can just fit into any hole.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Like it's really nuts. So do I have a field mouse that's living in my garage? I don't know. I was too afraid to look last night. So I'm going to have to look today. I need to look during the daylight. I need to like open the garage and have a place to run and scream. Yeah,
of course.
If anything happens, and I don't like touching mice because I don't want to hurt them. So then you have to they're mammals, it's like, it's not like stomping a bug or whatever. It's like people like drown them and smash them and I'm like, I'm not doing that like to an animal. So then you have to kind of like cord it away. We also have like a lot of lizards and snakes and shit. So it could be something like that. I don't know. But then I'm trying to like get them. I'm like doing this hand motion. It's like, get out of here. And you're like trying to kind of like get out.
Shepherd him out.
Yeah. As opposed to taking like a mallet, like a cartoon mallet and just smashing it.
Do you guys have these weird rodents there too? We have these weird, I don't know what they're called even. In Dutch, they're called marters, but I don't know what they are in English. There's these weird little fox-like creatures, and they go into your car and bite on your cables because there's fish oil in them. And they basically destroy all the cars in every street in the city here.
That sounds like some folklore from some small European village.
Yeah, like
it's
don't
true.
Leave your cars like outside.
They bust into your cars and steal the fish.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm doing like a southern accent. Little Belgian boy, leave your car in the garage.
Lock the window.
They look like weasels. I'm sure you guys have them, of course. You gotta have them.
Don't know.
No?
We have all sorts of woodland creatures.
Yeah.
How do you spell it?
It's Marter. So martyr.
Martyr. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Martyr. Yeah. Animal wiki. We call them marten. Marten is a weasel-like mammal in the genus Martis with the subfamily. Blah, blah, blah. They have bushy tails and large paws with partially retractable claws. Yeah, they have them in the very far north of the United States. Oh. Here's an image for you in case you want to see.
Yeah, they are.
Where they're placed. So, but a lot of them in Canada and in the Western U.S., like in maybe the Northern Rockies and stuff like that. So yes, we do have them. We do indeed have them. The American marten. God, they're cute.
Yeah,
they're very. They attack. They kill your dogs.
Look how. Oh yeah, I can.
Damn.
Look how cute he is.
Oh. They look like level 1 mobs in an MMO. You start killing in the quest zone. That's what they look like. Okay.
Yeah, they destroy your cars and kill your dogs, but they do look cute. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Speaking of cute, Smegma Maxer wrote in. It said, "Big dogs. Since I live in Australia, I can never catch Sacred Streaming live. So I'll use this chance to ask y'all to rank my trophies. Mad Villainy 0. I'll hang up and honk my oinky on Tommy the Sniper's slitter head and listen." Wow, that's a lot of references.
Stop. I'm so sick of it. I'm only kidding. I don't care. It's fine. You can keep like. There's a guy. I always say I'm name blind. I've always been name blind on the internet, like on forums and stuff. Unless I really knew you, I just would read what people were writing, and I had no idea who was saying anything. So it's kind of similar to how I feel about when I stream. But Dustin's been saying like the same people have been streaming like a Tommy joke and then paying us. And I'm like, well, that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, if you're
I can deal with that. I'm not that sensitive. Jesus. All right. Let's see. Mad Villainy 0. I spelt it wrong. It's because he spelled villain wrong. So let's see here. I don't see this name.
Yeah, I got someone else. I got like
Mad Villainy 0 is not a name that exists. Is it 06 maybe?
This guy only has 4 trophies or 4 games.
It might. Here. No, it can't be this person. It can't be this person.
It can't be this person.
You submitted a name on PSN that doesn't exist. You understand?
Yeah. Did you give us like your Steam name or something? Maybe it's just Mad Villains.
He might have spelled villainy wrong unintentionally because it's Mad Villainy, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I hope that's actually how you spelled it. Let me try Mad Villainy. All right, so there's a Mad Villainy without a 0, and then Mad Villainy 0. That doesn't exist.
All right, well, let's do the other one, I guess. The one that we have. We don't know if it's you, though. The first one that you just brought up. What was it?
This is the one. This can't be it, though.
Okay.
Because he's only earned 3 trophy games since 2020. It can't be him.
Ooh. Yeah.
You fucked up.
You fucked up, man. I don't know.
And Brad fucked up too.
Dude.
Brad fucked up too because he put a letter in here. He could have searched for your name.
Nah, it's more fun to do it on air because I need everything to be authentic reactions.
Yeah, sure.
See, we wouldn't have gotten this gift.
Yeah, that's true. It was a gift. That's a great way to put it.
Here we go, Smegma. What you can do is you can wait another month or 2 months until Colin's on again. Then we can try again, dude.
Yeah, I won't. I don't even know what I'm going to be playing to put me on the show. Yeah, before like the next month or so.
Yeah, it's going to be a while. So thanks for writing in, I guess. All right, Lockmort.
Yes, sir.
I told you this yesterday, but we're going to be ranking your top game of PC games. But last night I told you 2000 through 2010. Psych, it's 2010 through 2020.
So you're kidding me. Psych your mind.
Yeah. You're kidding me.
Yeah, you can't prep, dude. You can't prep.
I spent all afternoon on this. I spent like an hour and a half on this.
Why don't you spend an hour and a half on this? What are you doing?
Because he's preparing. Some of us prepare.
No, you don't.
I do.
What, your show notes? Oh, I know. Oh, you prepare a little too much. We know.
So some people like to get their house in order. I appreciate that.
Well, welcome to Some Insight. A little chaos here.
I respect that.
You could do a rapid fire if you want for your other ones, but the real deal is going to be 2010 to 2020.
Okay. First, I'm going to read the other ones because I spent so much time on this. Fuck you.
Yeah, do it. I feel for you.
I had a whole story for every game. I had like this little story prepared.
Oh my God, dude.
Okay. 2000, Baldur's Gate 2. 2001, Max Payne. 2002, Warcraft 3. 2003, KOTOR. 2004, Half-Life 2. 2005, Fable The Lost Chapters. 2006, Oblivion. 2007, The Witcher. 2008, Wrath of the Lich King. 2009, Dragon Age Origins. 2010, Mass Effect 2.
What was your 2004 again?
Half-Life 2.
Oh, okay. I was like, no, WoW. But then I'm like, oh, Half-Life 2.
WoW's in there in 2008 with
Wrath. Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Okay,
challenge.
Tell me 2 stories.
2 stories. I gotta get the best ones.
Give me some. Give me some 2 stories.
Well, now it's lame because now it's not cool anymore. I'll just say this. I think one of the best gaming months of my entire life was 2009 to 2010 because in November we had Dragon Age Origins and then 3 months later we had Mass Effect 2, which was amazing.
Oh yeah, both BioWare games.
I must have. It's funny. I must have wrote those guides back to back because I was still writing strategy guides at the time. That was probably a rough.
But yeah, that's crazy.
A rough time for me. BioWare, prison.
Oh Oh, you wrote the guides for those games.
I wrote the guides for Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2 and Dragon Age Origins. And Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. So those were kind of like that family, not that they're the same studios, but that family of like big Western role-playing game or whatever. New Vegas is what ruined, like I after I wrote the New Vegas, when I was writing the New Vegas guide, I'm like, I can never write one of these ever again. And I asked to move off of guides and they moved me. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Thanks, New Vegas. You got Colin where he is today. Yeah,
it was too much. Like, I love it. I still have the mind for it. I wrote a guide obviously recently for Saint Slayer, came out of retirement, but it's soul crushing.
Yeah.
Work. It really is. It's really important work for the sites. But anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted.
One more story, Lockmort.
Nope.
Okay.
The other list I'm halfway through, so I can just wing it.
Okay.
How do you want to do this? Just rattle them off, or what do you want me to do?
Now let me make something very clear here to you guys and the audience. Last Stand Media is a very structured company, very structured. Especially things like sacred symbols, down to finite details, maybe a little too crazy. However, Summon Sign is definitely the most chaotic show on this network. I want to keep people on their toes on this show. I want genuine surprise. Like if you're a video listener, I want you to rewind to when I say psych to Lockmort's 2010, 2020, the look on his face. That is the kind of content I want on this show.
Fair enough.
I like how you pretended I'm not going to get my revenge somehow, but I will. It'll happen when you least expect. When you need me the most, I'll do it.
As long as it's
dish served cold, baby. Love that.
As long as it is like equal in amount of trolling, then that's fine.
Sure. Yeah, of course. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to delete your channel, Brad.
Yeah.
The best thing with revenge is patience. I've learned that many times in my life.
Sure.
True.
All you have to do, like I still have situations going now where I'm like, all I have to do is wait.
That's true.
You'll see me again.
Wait. Just whoa. Okay.
I got it.
2010 Lockmort. What do you
Skyrim.
think?
Skyrim. No. That's
2011.
2011.
Yeah. 2010 is Mass Effect 2.
Mass Effect 2, of course. Great pick. Okay.
And that was early that year, right? It came out in Mass Effect 2 early in 2010.
Yeah, January. Yeah.
I remember that.
That was awesome.
Okay. Good pick. So you want to do Skyrim for 2011?
Yes, 2011 Skyrim.
Ooh, over Dark Souls.
Yes,
okay.
Definitely. Or well, not definitely, but Dark Souls wasn't that great on PC. Remember? Like,
I don't even know if it was on PC then. I don't know.
Well, I'm only thinking about PC. You asked about PC titles.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right? So
yeah.
So I figured I'm not going to say like otherwise the last of us would be a layer 2 and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so Skyrim 2011, 2012, easy Mass Effect 3.
Mass Effect 3.
I feel like it's a bit of a cop out. So,
well, tell you what, we can come back to it if you want.
Sure. I have to.
If you want more time, we can give you more time. For that.
No. I got it. 2014. 2014. This is. Wait, where are we? 20.
This is my editor.
Yeah, we're on 2013. He wrote Mass Effects plural, and I just quietly went in and deleted it.
Yeah, that's the editor. The editor at work.
Oh, I'm already gonna change it.
Okay.
It's not Mass Effect 3. It's The Walking Dead Season 1.
The Walking Dead.
Oh
no! Sorry, I'm gonna change it again. It's The Witcher 2. Sorry,
The Witcher 2. Okay,
right.
Yep.
Great game. Super good game.
Okay,
Yorvith, where is he?
Yeah. Well, dude. Oh, well, we'll get to it later. Yeah, we'll get to it later. Okay. 2013, right?
Yes.
Easy one. BioShock Infinite, one of my favorite games of all time.
Oh yeah, good choice.
Beautiful, beautiful game.
Infinite.
It's hard for me to. This is still this is kind of a sort of dark time for PC gaming. This is when everything started kind of coming out.
Yes.
And it's funny to like. I never once considered playing BioShock Infinite on a PC, or that anyone did. So it's fun.
That's right. I played it.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I just, especially at that era, I was just like, oh, PC gaming.
That was You're right, though, because that was a pretty bad era for PC gaming, because we didn't get a lot of, like, CRPGs were dead at that point. They simply didn't really exist anymore. Adventure games were kind of gone, and older shooters were mostly made for console. So these are like 10 dark years for PC, but they get better.
I think I would say like the mid to late aughts into the early 2010s were like a weird, from my perspective and from IGN's perspective, a weird time for PC gaming.
Yeah.
Like hard to know what to write about.
Yeah.
What to do. It seemed like no one cared. Remember, PC gaming is dead? I mean, people used to say that all the time.
Yeah. That's also when we got those, because Steam was already there. Steam was already popular, but we had that weird games for Windows Live bullshit, which ruined everyone's
So
library. There's still issues with that, because if you want to play Fable 3 right now on Steam, you can't. They had to delist it because it was under
the
games for Windows Live.
Original Dark Souls PC port was on that.
Yep, same. That's why I didn't put it on my list. But 2014, Brad, you're not going to be happy with this maybe, but I really love this game, Dark Souls 2.
I like Dark Souls 2. I just think it's the worst out of them.
It is the worst.
No, but I like it overall.
2015, very easy.
The Witcher 3.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
2016, also very easy.
2016.
We played every day, or
Overwatch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Overwatch. 2017 was a little bit harder, but XCOM 2. I have so many hours in XCOM 2.
XCOM 2. I've never played those, but I heard they're great.
Oh, there.
Is it
customization?
Is it all caps? Is that how they write it?
Yeah, it's X and then thingy. What's it called? The thingy, the stripe.
Just like a dash.
Yeah, dash. Yeah. So XCOM 2, 2018, also very easy. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
2019, it was a little bit harder, because I want to say Resident Evil 2 here, but I don't feel like that's fair, because that's more like a console game, right? So
no, I mean it doesn't have to be like what you consider a PC game. It could just be the best game on PC that year.
Well, I think the best game on PC that year was like universally agreed that people said that it was Disco Elysium, but for me,
it's for you. It's not for what anyone else. It's just for you.
Okay, Resident Evil 2 then. Yeah,
okay.
Resident Evil 2.
Hey, Colin, have you ever thought about playing Disco Elysium?
Yeah, I'll play that communist game when fucking hell freezes over. By the way, I actually bought it a long time ago. I just haven't played it. I am very interested in it. I don't care about their ideology. It doesn't bother me. I think it's more funny that their ideology created in on them when they got their own company stolen from them. Yeah. But I don't actually. I'm only kidding about that too. I don't know the full detail. I think Hogan and I did a
I think you guys
show
did,
about what happened with them.
Yeah.
But it's funny to like have that's certainly what the kids might call ironic. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would like to play that. I would like to play that game at some point.
Their new game released last week without a lot of attention, but it's great apparently.
Yeah, because they're like two pieces right now. They're like it's like some of the original creators, and then some of the original creators did a different. I can't keep track of it anymore. But God bless them.
God bless.
It's like Zero Parades, I think it's called, or something like that.
Yeah,
released last week.
Oh look.
Apparently it's amazing, but I haven't played it yet. And then 2020, the last one, easy one. Do you know what it is?
2020.
If I give you one hint, you'll immediately get it. VR.
Oh, Alex?
Yeah.
Oh.
Half like ALYX. That's how they spell her name. Okay.
I think we missed 2016. 2016 is Dark Souls 3. Or did I put it in?
No, you said Overwatch for 2016.
Oh, yeah. Overwatch. Yeah. Sorry, Overwatch. Yep.
Here, I'll go over the list right now.
Yeah.
2010 is Mass Effect 2. 2011 Skyrim. 2012, The Witcher 2. 2013 is BioShock Infinite. 2014 is Dark Souls 2. 2015 is The Witcher 3. 16 is Overwatch. 17 is XCOM 2. 18 is Red Dead Redemption 2. 19 is Resident Evil 2. And 20 is Half-Life Alyx.
Mm-hmm. I just looked it up, and The Witcher 2 released in 2011, so that can't be in 2012.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I did my homework.
See, this is why you need to watch the show visually for things like Lockmort's visual reactions.
Jeez.
It's too good.
Okay, so we're back to which one is missing now?
2012.
Right?
Yes.
You had said The Walking Dead at that point.
Yes, you're right. The Walking Dead.
The
Walking Dead. Yeah.
Well, that was your most recent choice before you changed it last time. So I would assume that's where your mind last was.
Yes. Let's go with The Walking Dead season.
Okay, The Walking Dead 2012. All right.
Yeah.
There we go. You feeling good about that list?
I am right now, but later when the show is over, I'm gonna look deeper into it. I'm probably gonna kick myself.
It's okay. Don't think about it too much. It's fine.
It's very these exercises are almost impossible, I think. And just a sense of being consistent. Like if you did this and then said like, don't ever look at this list again, and then next year pick a list,
Yeah.
And then pick a list the next year and pick a list the next year. They would all be different. At least they would be for me. I mean, some of them would be the same. There's some obvious ones, but there are some years like 2014 is a year or something where it's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
That could be like that's a shitty year for games, and that could be any number of things, you know.
That was a terrible year. I think like Dragon Age Inquisition
of the year, which is comical. So that was my last year in media, like in traditional media, and it was a shitty year.
Oh, you said 2014?
Yeah,
right?
That's the last time. That's the last time, in my opinion, that there was a year where it's like that was a bad year in games.
Yeah.
Dude,
there are just no more years like that anymore because there are so many games.
Tropical Freeze, Colin.
Yeah,
one of the best platformers of all time.
There's a picture of me playing that actually that year. And me laughing. Like, I'm actually enjoying it.
You're having a good time, dude.
Yeah, it's me and Jose Otero.
That's funny.
If you remember him, he was the old IGN editor. I think he works at Nintendo.
He works at Nintendo, yeah.
Cool.
That game rips, and Bayonetta 2, very good game as well.
Bayonetta 2. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what was that year. I think Shovel Knight was my game of the year that year, maybe. Was it?
That might be. Yeah, that might be right.
Shovel
Dude,
Knight.
Evil Within was 2014 as well. That game's so good.
Yeah, Shovel Knight. Did I review Shovel Knight?
Who else would review it?
Yeah, that's a good question. Oh yeah, I did. 9 out of 10. Underrated it.
Yeah, well,
in hindsight, it probably should have been like a 9.5 or even a 10. But I was one of the games that I feel like I under-reviewed was Mega Man 10 because I was afraid people thought I was a fanboy. So I think I gave it like an 8 or something, and I'm like, it really wasn't an 8. It's really more like a 9.5, but okay.
I consider that. That was me with Final Fantasy VII Remake, Colin, when I reviewed it. I gave it a 9, but I was like, oh, I hope people don't think I'm just a fanboy giving it a 9.
Yeah, it sucks to admit that is true. That's why one of the reasons why none of the text is going to be changed. It's like when you put the score on the end of it, it's like, yeah, I don't want people to think I'm like crazy.
Yeah, it's like, no, you give the game the review you truly think, I guess. But you do think about like, well, they'll probably just think that because it's me or whatever.
I will admit that you get a good grasp. I mean, with rare exception, you get a good grasp on a game a few hours in. I always beat the games, that I played and reviewed. Unless part of the review is about, and I've told a few stories about how there are a couple of reviews that are predicated on me not beating the game. And that's like kind of but that was my thing. So I'm not saying that like you would just play a few hours, but I would say 9 out of 10 times I had an idea of what the score was for the game 2 to 5 hours in.
Yeah, I would say that's
like, and then you're kind of just proving it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you're playing a Tales game. You're like, yeah, it's like an 8.
Yeah.
And then you play it for 40 more hours and you give it an 8.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's the same. Yeah. Absolutely can relate to that. Yeah. That's the way it goes. All right. Let's talk about our first game here. Lockmort, we're sticking with you, dude. 007 First Light. This is the new game from IO Interactive. Just came out. You finished this already, didn't you?
Yes, I finished it yesterday.
Okay. Wow. I haven't even bought it yet.
I'm so glad we recorded on Sunday and not on Friday, because then I wouldn't have been able to finish it. But I did. I'm a huge James Bond fan. I love the games, the books, the movies. I think all three of us grew up on the movies, right? Like,
yeah, to an extent.
Pierce Brosnan movies to me.
Yeah,
those
were the ones
kind
my age.
Yeah.
My favorite ones are Goldfinger, Dr. No, GoldenEye, and Casino Royale. Those are my favorite Bond movies. My favorite games are Nightfire from 2002 and Everything or Nothing from 2004, I think. Both
no GoldenEye?
No, I didn't grow up on Nintendo.
Yeah, N64 was not really a thing in Europe, right? Like not to the end.
Man,
it's so interesting to think about that.
Yeah, I didn't grow up on it. Sorry, but it probably would have been if I had. Blame my parents.
Nightfire is a good game. I that was one of my first IGN guides when I was a freelancer, and I was surprised by it because I used to get the shitty games. You have to work your way up.
Oh,
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
To the point where you get to choose your games, but at some point you're like the lowest man on the totem pole, so they just give you shit. And I was writing like Spyro, Enter the Dragonfly, all that kind of stuff. But I got some good ones too, and that was one of them. That area. The Getaway is in that time frame too, and I remember that within a couple months of that. Yeah.
So yeah, I love James Bond, but I also love Hitman games, and not just Hitman 1, 2, and 3, like the World of Assassination, fantastic games, of course, but more so the OG Hitman games, like Hitman 1 and 2 from way back in the day, original Xbox or PS2.
Blood Money.
I was just gonna say Blood Money is my favorite one. Fantastic, one of those perfect games. I want to say it's amazing. Blood Money is amazing. So when they announced that IOE was gonna do James Bond, I was very excited. I was very happy because I feel like they're the perfect developer to tackle this IP.
You're right. When I heard that too, Lockmort, I was like, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna. I'm gonna read this before you start talking about the game. So
Sure.
if you have any thoughts, prologue thoughts before it,
go ahead.
Okay. This is from Bloated Belly of Milk. I hate that name. Howdy, sussy summoners. This goes out to my favorite Eurojank Lockmort, as I would love to hear how 007 is going for him. Unsure if you're a fan of Io's prior work or a general James Bond fan, Lock, but how's it been so far for you? I think it's safe to say they've got a banger on their hands with this, as I'm just happy to see companies giving IPs like James Bond to the right people. So I don't think I could ever go back to Call of Duty style James Bond games ever again. And let me read this well. Captain Kurt wrote in and said, "Hey, Summon Crew. Just finished 007 First Light in about 17 hours, and as a longtime Bond fan, I loved it. It felt like a great love letter to the franchise with plenty of references and callbacks for fans. I've seen people criticize it for being too short and compare it to Uncharted and Hitman. Honestly, that sounds like a win to me. Not every game needs to be 50 plus hours long. After spending over 200 hours in Crimson Desert, which I still haven't beaten, a focused 15 to 18 hour adventure was exactly what I needed." Yeah.
I completely agree with him, by the way. When they announced this game, I was very happy, of course, because I think it's a perfect developer for this IP. But when they showed the first trailer, I didn't really believe in it, because when they showed that first trailer, we had like a very
you were kind of soft on it, I remember.
Yeah. Very young Bond. Maybe I read this wrong, but I thought I read in an article at some point that they said the cursed words modern audience. And that's when I figured like, oh no, what is going to happen with this? But I was completely wrong. Thank God. The Bond that they picked here, his name is Patrick Gibson, the actor. Wonderful. Perfect job. It's a wonderful origin story. He nails it. He nails the mannerisms. I like that they gave him the scar, which he never had in the movies, but he does in the book. So it's really cool that they gave a nod to the books too. I think that guy does an amazing job. I don't know if he's British or not. I hope he is.
I want to say he's Irish.
Oh, yeah, that's probably true. I know him from Dexter Origins, like the American serial killer show that he was in last year, I want to say. But he's great. What a great actor. I think all the cast, all the actors in this, I want to say movie, because they do look like themselves, but the whole cast in this game is phenomenal. They're great. Lenny James, who's a great actor. Most people probably know him from The Walking Dead, I want to say. Plays Greenway, also great. It's a fantastic origin story. Casino Royale was the original origin story, of course, for Bond that we saw with Daniel Craig, which was also great. This is very different. It takes place in the current day. It's very current. So modern audience, yes, but in a good way, finally. So they nailed that aspect. The gameplay, a lot of people say it's a mix between Uncharted and Hitman, right? I think both write-ins or one of the write-ins said the same thing. I kind of agree, but I think it's more of a mix between Watch Dogs and Uncharted on the Hitman engine. There's a lot of linear sections with set pieces where you just walk in a straight line, and you like in Uncharted, which are great. But then there's also a mix-up with more open hub area mission design that is more like Hitman, I guess, sure, but also a lot more like Watch Dogs, where you have your Q watch and you can hack devices and distract people. And Hitman is very methodical, like you plan your way through the levels in Hitman, which is very cool, very strategic, very nice. I wouldn't say that this game is like that, because Bond is more reactionary. You land in a situation and you try to you try to find your way out of it by stealth, by fighting, but you don't really plan your movement to the level. Like you get your waypoint, that's where you have to go, and then you go there, and whatever is in your way, you try to get rid of it. A lot of people also mention that there's like replayability in this game, and I think that is true to some extent, but not in the way that the Hitman games have replayability. Because here, the replayability basically comes down to, are you using stealth or are you using melee combat, basically? I think what everybody does, or what I did anyway, and my friends did too, I always start stealthy. I try to hack everything. I try to circumvent. But when shit goes down, and it turns into a melee combat game. And the melee combat here is Really, really good. I don't want to say fantastic because I just finished Lego Batman, which has the Arkham free flow, and I still think that is the best melee combat that you can ever have in a game. So from going from that to this was amazing, but a slight disappointment to me because I just came off perfection, even though it was a Lego game, of course, so it's not the real Arkham game. But the free flow combat in the Arkham games is so perfect, and then when you get to this, it's almost there, but it's missing that special, the little frame that they don't have in those games, which makes the combat look so cinematic. That's not here. It's more brutal here. It's more like Sleeping Dogs, which you both have played. I love
Sleeping Dogs.
I haven't played it, but I do know it.
Yeah, I reviewed it way back in the day. I'm a big fan of that game. I thought that game was surprising. Yeah.
Yes, great game. If you love this, the combat in Sleeping Dogs, it's basically the same here, which is amazing. There's of course a lot more extra moves here, but it follows the same principle. If you have a wall, you can slam people in it. It's very move based, like a combo based. Like if people try to hit you, you can of course deflect them, or you can grab them and uppercut or like knee them in the face. And you use the environment to your advantage, but you also use your gadgets, which is really cool. So you can throw a smoke bomb or poison them or hack them. Or if they throw grenades, you can disable the grenades or let the grenades explode in their face, which is really cool. That works really, really well. So I think the combat also, or the melee combat at least, is also great in this game. The gunplay is serviceable, I want to call it. It's good, but it's clearly not made it's clearly not made in the Uncharted kind of way, I think. Because the gunplay works, but it's so incredibly easy, or at least I thought it was incredibly easy to get headshots or to get rid of the enemies, I think maybe if you play on the hardest difficulty and you try to stealth your way through the explicit gunplay combat sequences, it's a little bit harder. But the way I played it on normal, which is maybe my mistake. But I thought the gunplay was a little bit too easy. There's also not enough bullets in guns, so you're basically forced to constantly move. It's not a cover shooter, because if you just stay in cover, they take you out. So you have to basically constantly move. The cool thing, however, in the gunplay is that it kind of forces you to also use your melee combat. So, for instance, there's this guy with a machine gun, and he's right in front of you. You have one bullet left, which happens a lot in this game. Like you only have one bullet left. You shoot the gun out of his hand. You run up to him. You punch him. You take the gun. Boom. You shoot the other guy in the distance. You run around him, choke another one out. So it's very dynamic. The combat is very dynamic. The gunplay itself is just not, it doesn't feel all that great. But the way it all moves together is perfect, is awesome. I've never seen it done before in a game like this. So I think that is very, very well done. The game itself, there are a couple of negatives, I want to say. This was very surprising to me. It has incredibly long loading times, even on the Pro. If you die, I didn't time it, but it has to be at least 15 to 20 seconds until you're back in it. These days, that's a long time. Back a decade ago, that was nothing, of course. But these days, you do notice it. Like it's almost time to grab your phone.
Damn.
There's a couple of driving sections in the game which are completely on rails. No problem with that. The driving sections in Uncharted, well, not in the open world, but the big chase in Uncharted was also on rails, but it looked more dynamic here. I've tested it a couple of times in this game where I deviated from the route and the camera automatically put you back on the route, and it's just in a straight line, go, go, go. So the car chases, not a big fan of. There's also, I had this weird, maybe this was uniquely to my playthrough, but I had this weird delay in my input during the combat at certain points where I know I pressed a button, but it didn't register on time. But again, maybe it's because I'm bad, or maybe it's because maybe there's a problem with the game. I don't know. The other thing that I noticed, and this isn't my fault, is that the checkpoints can be broken, which happened a lot to me. And what I mean by that is I stealth my way through a level. I get into a combat section, right? I start fighting with people, but they overwhelm me. So I have to run away, get my health back up. But as I run away, there's apparently a checkpoint. So now when I load back in, I'm already in the section ahead, but the enemies are in the section behind me. So suddenly I think I beat that section without really beating it.
You broke it. Yeah.
And that didn't happen once. That happened 3 separate times.
That's interesting. That's I'm surprised that something like that wouldn't be caught in QA.
Yeah. Maybe it's because I played the game wrong, because I still don't know if I played it the way it's intended.
No, that's what I'm saying is like they play the games wrong.
Yeah.
They try to break them, you know?
Yeah.
So that I wonder what that's all about. Might have something to do with like the data streaming or something like where I'm not technical enough to know, but I'm surprised that I would be surprised to learn that they didn't know about that. And that's some sort of compromise.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So you can break it.
It wasn't like a huge deal, because it wasn't like I was at the end of the level, but I did pass 3 difficult sections that way without basically having to fight the enemies. There was one section even where I ended up in an office with the key card I had to grab, which normally you have to circumvent a lot of enemies to get there, but I just ended up in there, and I was never in that office before. But I guess I just passed the checkpoint through the door when they killed me last time. So that was a little bit weird, but not that big of a deal. I did have 3 crashes too, like hard crashes that my PlayStation crashed. The first one happened during the opening cutscene, so I was like, "Oh, please, God, no! Like, don't let it be this one of those special games that you know what Ben had Returnal."
Yeah, right. Like where on your PS5 it doesn't work. Yeah,
exactly. So I was
PS5 is weird like that, man.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I was really scared, but it only happened during that one cutscene, and then it happened once more during the tactical sim, which I'll talk about in a second, and it happened once more close to the end. But again, not a big deal. I guess they'll be able to fix that, right? That doesn't really matter all that much. It happens with a lot of games. And then my one final negative thing is that the end boss was terrible. I feel like,
damn,
not great. But having said that, the rest of the game was phenomenal. I had a great time. I think the back half of the game, I don't want to say how many missions there are because people get mad, but they know how many things there are. But I want to say the back half of the game is way better than the first half, because for the first couple of missions, I was like, oh no, this is good, but I don't think this is all that great. But when I got to the end and I looked back at the sections I just did, I was like, damn, yeah, okay, that was awesome. So I think this game is amazing. I think it's great. I do think there is plenty of room for improvement for the sequel, especially in the driving sections and especially in the way the gunplay feels. But other than that, I had a great time. It's not too long. It only took me 13 hours to beat the whole thing, which is perfect, I think, to me. It's not too long, not too short. There's also once you're done with the game, you have this tag sim option in the menu. You should basically do this right after the first mission. I didn't, but I learned later that you should do this right after the first mission because they teach you 2 extra combat moves in it. It's basically a simulation where you test new moves or test your gunplay, or you can earn new suits. It's basically something to extend the game. But you also learn new moves in it, which I didn't know when I started the game, which is my bad, I guess. But I dabbled around in that. Pretty fun. I think that was pretty fun. It's not going to give you like 50 more hours of game time, but it was pretty fun. The plat is pretty easy. I didn't get it yet, but I will, I think. It's one of those games. When I saw that first trailer, my biggest fear was, and I think I said this on the Finding Duke a couple of weeks ago, my biggest fear with this game was that it was going to get great scores, like 9s and 10s, which it did. But then people would play it, and in like 2 or 3 months, or maybe 2 or 3 weeks, you would ask, what was your favorite part? And people would be like, I don't really remember much. And I think that's not the case. I think I was wrong there, because there are a couple of sections in this game that are very memorable, very cool, very Bond-like sections, which is, of course, what you want in a game like this. So I think they absolutely nailed it. I'm happy that there's still room for improvement for the sequel too, because I think the sequel of this game is going to be amazing. I can't wait. I hope they can turn it around pretty quickly. They did a phenomenal job. I would recommend this game to anyone who likes Uncharted, anyone who likes Hitman, anyone who likes Watch Dogs. This is a very easy recommend.
In terms of like its kind of mission structure and everything, how you're saying it's designed, and do you think it'd be better in the future if it's more like Hitman-esque for some of those sections where it's like replay? I guess how you could do certain things multiple ways and replay it and get different outcomes.
Right now, it gives you the illusion of choice, right? And if you play a lot of games, you see through that. But I think if you don't play a lot of games, you don't see through it, and you think this probably is a lot like Hitman, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not going to say it because it's a spoiler for never mind. But there are sections where the game makes it seem like, oh, if you choose this level locks up to you, or maybe if you go this way, this locks up. But in reality, you can basically do everything pretty much.
Right.
But that's not a bad thing. I think a game like this should be kind of linear.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when they did that in Uncharted 4 with the open world, with the car where you could drive around and find treasures and stuff? I thought that was really cool, but also a little bit unnecessary. So I don't know if that should be in a game like this. They could. You can tell it's on the Hitman engine. You can tell it's on the Glacier engine, which is another pretty weird thing because I remember Hitman 3 having like path tracing, or at least what's it called, ray tracing and stuff. Well, this game, it looks good, but it also looks kind of bland here and there. Like I was expecting more of a graphical surprise, but it kind of looks okayish, not all that wonderful. Of course, the set pieces are amazing, and that's what a game like this thrives on, of course. So Hitman sections, yeah, they could. I think they could easily implement a couple of those, but would it benefit the game? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I guess that's my question. Do you think it'd benefit the game?
It would benefit the replay value, of course, by a lot. But I wonder if this is a game that people replay a lot. I don't know. I don't think I will replay it. I loved it. I shouldn't say that. I think I'll replay it when the sequel comes out, and I want to refresh my memory on the story, because the story was really great and the characters too. But if I want to replay a game like this, or if I have the option to replay either First Light or Hitman 3 or Uncharted 4, I will pick Hitman 3 or Uncharted 4. Because what they do is perfect, almost, or near perfect. And I think what this does is it blends those games together very well, but it never reaches the height of either of those games, right?
Sure.
But it doesn't mean it's bad. It's still amazing. It's still a fantastic game.
Of course. So easy recommend from you?
Yes, absolutely. I thought this game was great. I thought this game was amazing. I think the acting was wonderful. I think they did what it should have done. Like, they nailed the origin of Bond, and now they have a franchise, and now they can go on for a decade. Keep making them
foundation. Yeah,
exactly. Which is what they wanted, I feel like. So very excited for the sequel. I hope it comes soon. I feel like if they keep this engine, I don't see why it has to take 10 years to make the next one. I hope.
Yeah. Well, when did Hitman 3 come out? I'm trying to remember. Let me look this up.
2016.
Was it that long ago?
2015?
No, 2021.
Hitman 1?
No,
Hitman 3.
Oh, 3. I'm sorry. I misunderstood you. I was like, oh, I thought you said Hitman. I'm sorry. I totally misunderstood you.
I was like, dude, 2016. I was like, holy shit, what's going on?
So, yeah, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Pardon.
No. Yeah, it's fine.
They worked on this one for 7 years.
Okay.
So,
well, they kept supporting Hitman for a while, I feel like.
Yeah, that's also true. I can't wait for the sequel to this game. I think the story, that's also one more thing that's very good to highlight with this game. The story is great. I thought it started off pretty wonky and like stereotypical, but it there's a good amount of twists, and good twists. I think it's a good game. I think it's a good story. Yeah.
I have one final question for you about this. There's a lot of like cameos and celebrities in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Did they blend in with the game, or was it very like on the nose too much?
I think
Lenny Kravitz, I guess, being a villain in the game.
Without spoiling it, they made a mistake there. Not with hiring him, but putting him into marketing. It would have been, but that's with a lot of games, right? It would have been such a cool surprise if they didn't put him into marketing. But I can't say anything without spoiling it, so I can't really talk about that. But he was fun. Jacksepticeye and Shroud were in there. I mean, yeah, I don't really. I'm not the target demographic for those people. If kids are, or people who watch them are happy if they see them in this game, okay,
sure.
Maybe one more important, very non-important thing to highlight here. There's this thing going around that the game is woke or something. It's not woke at all. There's nothing woke about it.
Wow, I've heard that before.
There's a black woman in it, I believe. So I don't know. You might want to check your notes.
Multiple black women. Multiple.
Oh my God. And you're telling me it's not woke?
Sorry. Yeah. But it's not woke at all. No. I don't know where that's coming from.
Where it's coming from is that there is a thin line between complaining about obvious wokeness and racism. And I keep saying this over and over again. It can be an unpopular thing, but I don't care. Like, there's obvious wokeness, and we've been saying it about PlayStation games recently. It's like, yeah, the women thing kind of Maybe you can have like a normal, just male protagonist at some point, you know, like Saros, I guess, is that, but like something bigger, like a Drake or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, so now we're going to get the Fae game. We got Ellie and Abby. We got fucking Aloy. It's like, all right, guys. So it's like, to me, that is a level of like trying to be, not, I don't want to say even woke, but like, you know, we need to represent both genders. We need to do those kinds of things. And then there's just like, it's what I've said about Tales of Kenzera or Forspoken or whatever. It's like, this is about a black person. And I'm like, so what makes that woke?
Right.
Yeah.
Their skin color. True. And that's, so to me, I mean, I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but that's where it comes from, is like, there are just some people that are completely racist. And it is what it is. I guess.
Yeah. It's funny also because they don't play games, I guess. Cause I don't, if you would have played the game, because there's even big people, I don't want to give them any credit, but like they're big on social media who are saying like, oh, we're going to boycott it, it's woke. And all the comments are saying, play the fucking game. There's nothing woke about it. But they refuse to play it, so they don't even know. But yeah, I guess you're right. It has to be like racism or misogyny or whatever. It's annoying. Because like you said, there are games that do have that problem, and now you can't really complain about those either. Because look, I mean, there are obviously blatantly, manifestly woke video games. It's not to say that they don't have a right to exist or that they're not for.
Sure. I was making fun of Mafia 3, which is not even new. That game's 10 years old. Where I was like, there are literally gay pride flags in it, and I'm like, the gay pride flag hadn't even been invented yet. Like that's woke. You know what I mean? Yeah. To say like, we need to wedge gay pride into a situation where no one even know what the fuck this flag was because it was invented 15 years later. Yeah. That's like an example of what I'm talking about, you know, wedging things in. Or like the Kill the Justice League was another one of those games where it's like the insane armor and like the fucking trans armor. It's like, come on, man. Like no one, enough already. Like enough. Enough of making your sexuality, your gender, your race, all these things, your personality. Be a little deeper than that, please. Yeah.
Man,
you know, please.
That game sucked, dude. That game was such a disappointment, dude.
They shut them. That's a great example. I'm going to talk about it in a little while, I think, in a different context. But that's a great example of a studio that was presented something with like the Batman games and been like, all you have to do is this. Just keep doing this. And they're like, no, we'll do something else. And then it blew up in their face. There's two other great examples. I mean, I'll say them now, I guess, because I don't even remember what the context was I was going to bring them up in. Oh, we were talking about Sleeping Dogs. And I was thinking like, United Front Games, what a sad story. Like they thought they knew better, right? Like for people that don't remember, United Front was this Canadian studio that did a few things. They did Mod Nation Racers actually on PS3. But they made Sleeping Dogs, which was awesome. They made it with Square Enix, as people might remember. And then they're like, we're going to take this money. Everyone's like, God, do a sequel. This is awesome. They're like, no. We're going to make an online game called Triad Wars, and it's going to be in the Sleeping Dogs universe. And that was the end of United Front Games. And the other example is 38 Studios. I mean, that's the most famous example, where like Kingdoms of Amalur was a mega hit, way bigger than Sleeping Dogs.
Of course. Yeah.
And they were like, no, we'll make an online multiplayer game. Like we're making an MMO. It's all towards the MMO. It's like, okay. So not unlike what happened there.
Well, wasn't that studio also funded by the government or something, or by some, or Long Island maybe? I think wasn't there like something?
Oh, like state government, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember.
United Front, you're saying, or
no? Studio 38.
Oh, Rhode Island. It was. Rhode Island. They Rhode Island, tiny little state, little roadie, as it's sometimes referred to. They lent a bunch of money to the studio and then ended up suing them for it.
Yeah.
It ruined Curt Schilling's whole reputation. I mean, what's funny is like we in the games industry know Curt Schilling, or gamers know Curt Schilling as this one thing, but like I'm a sports fan too. And like Curt Schilling is a mega famous baseball player and kind of fucked his whole shit up with it. You know, the bloody sock, you guys probably don't know about the bloody sock. Like that's like if you look it up, just look up the bloody sock and I guarantee you it'll bring up Curt Schilling. Just the bloody sock. And he, it does, right? Yeah. And it's him on the mound, like, and he had like surgery or some problem, but it was like in the World Series, or it was actually in the championship game, the championship series. And it's like a famous thing. And he would have gone down in like history as like this famous world-class pitcher. But the 38 Studios thing undid him. And I knew people that worked there. I mean, we broke the story at IGN when they were going down because someone had reached out saying, I think we've talked about this in the past, that like people's health insurance stopped working.
Yeah.
Oh.
And some like pregnant woman that like was married to one of the guys there like went to the doctor and like her insurance was like turned down. So then they knew like the jig was up. And that was the end.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It just sucks because in both of those examples I brought up in Ameler and Sleeping Dogs, it's like you actually had something. Like you fucked it up. Yeah. You did it. Like you did the hard work of establishing yourself and making a great game. R.A. Salvatore, I think, wrote Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning.
Yeah.
So it's like you had this great setup and you blew it. You fucking blew it. And I hate seeing shit like that because it's like, damn, dude. Because people are always like, why don't we get more Grand Theft Auto like games? And it's like, well, there was one. Because people always think Saints Row and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, Sleeping Dogs could have been pretty big. They fucked it up.
It's getting a movie soon.
Yeah, I saw, which is cool. I mean, it's too bad that people just didn't make better decisions when it made sense to make better decisions. And in that era of like Watch Dogs and some of the other things that they could have competed with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, maybe it's also, maybe that's the pessimistic look at it, but maybe it's also good to have like a standard now. Sleeping Dogs is still on their pedestal while Saints Row completely fell off.
Yeah, Saints Row is all fucked up. The original team, or some of the people from what was it, Volition? Yes. The original Saints Row team, I believe, got together and pitched Embracer on a game, and they were turned down, as I understand. Right, that was what was reported. I think because I think the guys from like the first two Saints Row games were like, we want to make a Saints Row game like we was supposed to be. And I think they were like, yeah, there's just no money in this for us because it would be expensive. I mean, I think you would have to. It depends on where you make it, but you would assume a game like that, the open world game, $50 million would be probably the cheapest you could probably get it done, unless you were working entirely in like fucking South Korea or something, or the furthest reaches of Eastern Europe. You know, like on the border of Russia, like you're basically Russian. Maybe you can get them to make it for like 15.
Isn't it weird that almost doesn't exist anymore? Like those open worlds, like current day car games, I want to call them.
Yeah.
Like GTA clones, that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's funny. Like everyone chased the GTA clone in the PS2 era and into the PS3 era. And there were some good ones. Like there were some notable ones that I thought like I thought the Godfather games were okay. Like Godfather 2 was actually an underrated game. It had the whole like racket system where you like were building rackets and stuff. It was cool.
Scarface,
Scarface, yeah, that's exactly right. That's another one of those games. Mafia, obviously, although Mafia began earlier. Mafia was very quick after Grand Theft Auto, but I think there's a market for them. I don't know, but they're expensive. They're hard to make. They're expensive.
Yeah,
and I think that I really do think it comes down to that. You have, if you're going to do something like that, you got to make it a world worth exploring, and then I think that kind of thing becomes a money sink as well.
Yeah,
and I think that's what you kind of saw with Mind's Eye. It's like, you built this for what purpose did you build this place?
Yeah.
And I think that's actually a great example of what happens when you don't sufficiently populate your world. It's like, well, cool, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great point. Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to say about 007 before we move on, Locke?
No, just play it. Like everyone should play it. It's a great game.
Okay. Very cool. All right. Colin, it's finally out.
It is.
Mina the Hollower. Yacht Club Games. Their second game, technically, I guess.
Yeah. It's the second game.
Finally,
is anyone else? Are you guys playing it too, or just me?
I've played about 2 hours of it. I'm in the first dungeon or so, I guess you would say. That's where I'm at right now. So I'm still very early in the game, though.
Yeah, I'm probably 4 hours in or something like that.
Okay.
Because I've been playing. I beat Pragmata, and I was doing all the special like post game epilogue stuff in that, and then I'm gonna beat that on hard at some point. But so and by the way, I think Pragmata is awesome. Mm-hmm. Arguably the game of the year, but probably Requiem. I still think. But I mean, either way, Capcom is
cleaning up.
Winning. Yeah, they're doing great. Mina, I'm a little torn on it actually. Like,
interesting.
It is manifestly and obviously great in its presentation and what it tries to do. I love the discipline, especially artistically, in representing late Game Boy Color era games. I'm sure you noticed this, Brad, even like they don't have to do shit like this, but they do. Like everything is square, perfectly like, so like they'll actually do, like, you know, like the old like weird bush thing in Mario Brothers where there would be like a weird angle on the four like 90-degree angles, and the colors would be off and stuff like that. You don't have to do that anymore. And they chose to do things like that. And I was like, cool. They I don't know if they built it in the traditional manner, but they made it look like it was built in the traditional manner. You know, tiling and like all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, it looks cool. I think the world building is exceptional. And this is something that I think they do really well. I think Shovel Knight is actually underrated for this reason, which is that it feels like a world that exists. For as much as I love Mega Man, for instance, as I always bring it up, it doesn't really feel like a world. Like, we don't really know what the world is. We've never had a Mega Man game where we were like, let's go dick around, or like go, you know, I'm not talking a classic Mega Man, like let's go dick around and do side quests and learn more about the people we're helping. We just know that Mega Man like saves the day and he's like very critical to the success of this world and whatever. I think Shovel Knight did a really nice job of just populating its world, almost like Zelda 2 or Faxanadu or even Rygar and stuff like that, where it's like, oh, here's a town person, Castlevania 2, here's a town person, and here's a thing to do, and here's a person to meet, and here's some dialogue, and there's places where there's no combat. And remember when you would go and like pray or like do something to the fish? There's like a huge fish god or something, and you would like go.
Oh,
and, like,
Shovel Knight, yeah. What was
right.
that guy's name? I forgot.
It was really cute. Like, so that kind of thing. Like, I was like, yeah, this is great. And they do it. I think it's even more pronounced here because this game is more open. I mean, more predicated on. I mean, to me, it reads a little bit like the Capcom Zelda games, but really with the ethos of like actually Link's Awakening DX, I guess. Just much bigger and grander. What I think bothers me a little bit about the game so far is its vagueness. And I don't know why they chose to do that, because while it stays within, this is a design choice. It's like, from my perspective, they stay within the philosophy of old school games sometimes, like with the vagueness, a la Zelda 2, for instance. But then they have all the modern trappings of a normal, modern, contemporary game. And so like the menus are really robust. Like you would never see a robust menu system like you on a Game Boy Color game like you do here, right? You would never. First of all, it's a Game Boy Color game in widescreen, which I think is kind of cool. And I feel so. I guess I'm wondering like why lean so much into modernity and then lean away from it in other ways. And I feel like the confluence of where they lean away from it and where they lean into it, I'm a little confused about the permutation of things that they decided, if that makes any sense. So I would, it's like, give me a quest log, man. Like, I don't want to run the game's hard, so I don't want to. The thing where it's un-Zelda-like, I think, is that it's way harder than a Zelda game, like any Zelda game, in my opinion.
Zelda 1 and 2 are pretty tough games. Maybe
I'm just really used to them.
You've played them many times.
A million times. I feel like those games are way easier than this. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you give someone Zelda 2, I'm sorry, who hasn't played it, they're going to have a tough ass time getting through that game.
Yeah, Zelda 2 more so, I think, than Zelda 1 even. I feel like Zelda 1's shockingly forgiving. I mean, if you just, I mean, think about it. Like how there's a point in Zelda 1, I feel like, where it's like, how could you even die?
Yeah.
Like you have so many hearts, like so many weapons. It's like, how could you even fuck this up?
I'll say with Zelda 1 though is Zelda 1's very hard to figure out where like a lot of the things are because the translation of the game is bad.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's completely insane. I mean, that's one of the hallmarks of Zelda 1 that you would simply cannot know what to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I was saying with that, and that, guys, this comes from my perspective of being more of an NES person, which you are too, but it's like that game is just very second nature to me. Sure. And so I guess it is hard to, I know how to play that game. I know where to go and I know what to do or whatever. But the point is like finding your way through a game like that felt a little more forgiving, ironically, because it comes from the 80s, wherein it's like, okay, I'll beat my head against the wall because at least I'm not dying a lot. Right. Like it's like, oh, I don't really know what to do. Now, Mina's much harder and from the way I read it, I feel like Mina's way harder than any. I can't think of any old school Zelda game that's this hard.
Sure.
And I don't think that's a problem. I think that's kind of cool actually, and I like that. I'm dying and I'm like, I'm learning and I like the challenge. I just wonder if the better marriage would have been like something more modern in terms of like what you do, quest log, side quest log, map. Like, sure. Come on, man. Like,
yeah, no map is kind of surprising.
I mean, even Zelda 1, and this is true, actually, Zelda 2 is the same way. It's like, there was an understanding, the early Dragon Warrior games were like this. There was an understanding that, like, you needed a map. That's why the games came with one. Because they were like, you can't, Zelda 1, I don't think I have it out anymore. I had it on my desk for a while. Like Zelda 1 came with a huge pullout of like everything in the game because they're like, you need some information. And we can't put it in the game. So I think that's kind of I don't want to say a high level argument. It's just like for an old school nerd that exists very much in this space. I'm like that. I feel like there could be more lubricant, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
Like let's make this a little bit, the difficulty, the grinding nature of it doesn't bother me at all. It bothers me in conjunction with its vagueness because I feel like I'm beating my head against the wall in a way that is not necessarily fun.
So you're further than me, so maybe this becomes more of a problem later on. But can you give me an example of the vagueness? To me, so far, it's just kind of been like, oh, I clearly can't go this way yet. I need something to get past this kind of thing. And it's kind of just guided me to where I think I need to go naturally.
Yeah, I think the vagueness comes, I mean, a grander example is, as I said, like just show me some sort of cogent setup of where I've been and where I'm going. What am I looking to do? Why? It's a paper and pencil game, really, because which is, again, cool. But it's like there are so many unlockable things, for instance, right?
Yeah,
like you find these
relics.
keys. And
the keys. Yeah.
And it's like I've probably encountered 15 of these doors that I haven't opened yet. It's like, all right, so I either have to keep track of these things or in my head, which is old school and cool, or I could just lean into a little bit into modernity and say like, here's a little 8-bit map and here's a little flashy thing. And just it lets you know you should probably go back. That kind of shit. It's a personal taste thing. I am a little surprised by how much people love this game. I think it is undeniable. Like when I saw its scores, I was like, whoa. You know,
highest rated game of the year.
Yeah, I'm like, wow. I mean, that's surprising to me because I feel like it is so catered to someone like me or you that it has way less appeal than Shovel Knight to a grander audience of people, in my opinion. And I am so that doesn't matter because who cares? I mean, I want them. I love those guys and I want the game to sell well, but I don't care about its reach. What I'm saying is that you'd think that would just parlay itself into a weirder, more mixed score. And yet I guess maybe the right people found their way to it because there are a lot of us out there. And we do often split up and go into all these different directions wherein like there's a shit ton of great games. Lovish is the one I keep bringing up over and over again this year where it's like no one played this game comparable to who should be playing it if they just knew it existed. Everyone seems to know Mina exists. And so I think they come towards it and they've been waiting for it for so long. But so little things like that, I think kind of hold like so I guess what I love about it is I do like that it's hard. I like that it's stubborn. You know, like you can't attack diagonally. They and this is what I'm saying about the rule sets and like the rules you lean into sometimes and sometimes you can't. The kind of vague isometric-esque height differential between enemies that is sometimes hard to read. Like that's so of the time. Reminds me of some of like the Konami brawlers and shit like that. And so there's like a lot of really cool things. The music's excellent. The art is excellent. The game doesn't always read, I don't think, visually because it is so low resolution. Like tile sets where I'm like, can I go? I'm always attacking shit because I'm like, can I destroy this? Like, what's the rule set about this specific tile? What's the rule set about this? The wood, the tree, you know, the potted tree, whatever. It's like, so I don't think it always reads well, but I think that that's a product of the time that they're trying to go for. And so we're talking about a game with like a more limited resolution than an NES game. So it's tough. And I appreciate that they did that. And then I think, as I was saying earlier, like one of the things I really love about the game is just it's full of interesting characters and really good writing. And it's not something that people will care about a lot in these kinds of games, I think, but I really noticed that there are a lot of fun little trappings and conversations, and you get little personalities out of these little nonsensical sprites. And I love their low resolution, like portraits. There's some really cool ones. And I think Mina is a dope character.
Yeah.
Like I really like her. I was saying to Mike, Mina the Swallower.
Oh boy.
Did I come up with that? You think? I don't know.
I haven't heard it yet.
And then she was asking me, am I going to find out you're a furry? And I'm like, no, I'm not a furry. I'm just making a joke. So we had that conversation. I like some of the customization in the game. Like it's cool. You can, you have like a choice of different primary and secondary weapons. So you start, I'm using like a whip but you can use like these dual knives or like a hammer, and they all have different things. And then there are a bunch of like Castlevania-esque kind of sub weapons, really Zelda like sub weapons, an axe, a dagger, things you can throw. There's one cool one where you can actually heal yourself. Like it doesn't do any damage to the enemies, but it heals you when you use it. When you can siphon some of their health, I guess. Robust currency system, kind of a Elden Ring, Bloodborne style risk reward system.
Yeah,
with
the bones.
The bones.
Cool.
It's a little more forgiving because, well, actually, it's equally forgiving because it's like you have to go and kill the enemy that killed you, or you lose everything the next turn.
Oh,
so it's pretty cool, and I like how you can store them away in almost like a banking like system.
Yeah.
So you get like these bones, and you can like turn them, like it gets more and more expensive, but you can start turning them into these gems that you can then put away. And so like if you die, you keep some of your money and stuff like that. There's a lot of cool little subsystems, and this is where I think the game really shines. And I think that the vagueness, some people will really like it because if you are patient, which I am not, you will uncover a shit ton of things in the game, no doubt. Yeah. I will also say the trophy list is insane. And I am very interested. Like no one has the platinum trophy yet. I wonder when anyone, and it's been in people's hands for weeks. I wonder when someone will get it. You have to do all sorts of shit. There's a new game plus, which is cool. You have to beat the game in under 4 hours. You have to beat the game with none of the items, I think, in the game.
Cool.
So like not collecting anything. I don't even know. Some people are saying like beating the game in 4 hours seems almost impossible based on what we know about the game so far. In other words, like people have to get way better. I have Shovel Knight's Platinum, and people consider that really difficult. And I'm just much better at 2D platformers than I am of these more top-down or isometric style games. So I have to take that into account. I'm probably above average skill level, but not at the level I play a Shovel Knight. Because I remember you had to beat Shovel Knight, I think, in under an hour, and I felt that was like trivial, and people were like dying and like didn't do it. I'm like, it's not that hard. But this is a game where the shoe will be on the other foot for me. I think where I'm going to have a much harder time. And I just want to say I'm so pleased for Yacht Club to just finally get things out. You know, I'm friendly with those guys. I've been friendly with them for a long time. I've said before, I mean, it's worth noting I have some conflicts of interest with them. It's why I didn't, I could have gotten the game a long time ago. And then it was offered to me again, a month ago, and I said no. I wanted to kind of do it at the same time. But they, I wrote the intro to their the official Shovel Knight art book, and did a bunch of other things. So it's like I'm in with them, and I don't, they listen to this stuff too, because I was talking to one of them recently, and he was alluding to like, I'm busting balls about how I always bust balls about like why they've taken so long and all the rest. They have high expectations sales wise for this game, and I want to see what it means. Ultimately, I feel like it is more about the time they have wasted than the money they spent on this game. That requires them to say things. I think Sean Velasco said that, who's the lead of the studio, said that they want to sell 1 million copies. And I'm like, that is insane, because first of all, that's very doable for you. But I mean, it's insane that that's what's necessary for this game. Because that would suggest something like a $20 million budget or something, and it's like, there's no way. The story behind the scenes with the game is, I think people understand, and this was not reported by me, but is that basically like a very low, you guys probably know this, a very low level person at the studio came up with this idea, and he was like basically their intern, and then I think became like kind of like a gopher. And they were like, all right, you direct this. Mm-hmm. And this was supposed to be a side project to the Shovel Knight 3D game that they've been doing, that I think is fairly far in development. And I think we'll get it probably, I don't know, in the next couple of years or something. They'll probably swing back to it. And that was like their main game, and Sean Velasco was directing that game, and they basically had to like come over and finish Mina the Hollower, because it was just not going anywhere. And so Sean Velasco ended up being like the director, and they put it together and finally got it out. And so it was a very challenging and difficult lesson for them. But I've said before that, and I'll say it again, it's like, I really feel like they should have beaten the drum on traditional Shovel Knight a lot more. And I would have much preferred more Shovel Knight to this. I appreciate this for what it is. I think it's great. So I'm just talking from a more critical perspective of what it almost did to the studio. And it's kind of a bummer, because this is another example, in my opinion. And again, I love and have a lot of love and respect for these guys. It's just like, I feel like they just didn't take the win. It's like, just take the win. Here it is. You did all this work. Look, Shovel Knight, everyone loves Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight's in fucking Smash Brothers as an assist trophy or something. There's a fucking amiibo, and everyone loves you. Make it another one. Make it third one.
Mm-hmm.
And then do the 3D one. If that's what because that was always, to be fair, and I've said it before, that was always their dream, was to do a 3D Shovel Knight. That they said, but they were going to get there slowly. Instead, I think they kind of jumped the gun. So I think this will allow them to save themselves. It seems like the game's doing really well. People love it. I mean, it's already adored, and it's cool. It's really it's a love letter to that turn of the century, late handheld. Well, not late handheld, but late intro and Nintendo handheld. The iterative period of Game Boy Pocket Color. Yeah, it's pretty cool, and I really like it. I'm going to keep going with it. It just I will say that I don't some of it I don't love as much as I thought I was going to, and I think I would have loved it more if it was a little more traditionally Zelda. But I appreciate that it is. There's really, it's funny, you know what I was thinking, Brad? It's like there. In some way, it's easy to say like what kind of games are like it because there are other games that are like it, but at the same time, it's actually quite novel because it is so robust with features, and that's what I think makes it so unlike that era.
Oh yeah, you know what's funny, Colin, is I just played through both of the Oracle games.
Right, I remember that.
Capcom Zelda games. So
yeah, those are great games.
Speaking of which, got a video up there on my YouTube if you want to check that out.
Great
but
video.
anyway, so I just played those, then I'm playing this. It's crazy going from those two games. You could see, of course, the DNA of Zelda and stuff like in this game, but this game impressed me way more than I expected, Colin, in terms of production. Like the beginning of the game, you start off like the very beginning of the game, you start off on a boat and it's like a Hydra attack almost, like God of War 1. And how much is going on, and you're seeing all the backgrounds and the design of everything. It's way more robust than I thought this game was going to be, especially when you get to the town, dude. Like you're saying, all those different NPCs and how many of them are actually like moving around and how big the town is and all the systems tied into all that. I was like, whoa, this is very sophisticated. Like the Oracle games, especially compared to, it's like, you know, you get like one, maybe two town with like a shop in it. And here it's like, whoa, this is like a full on big like Japanese role-playing game town or something like that, or role-playing game. So I've been really surprised by that. And like how like there's been like weird little encounters. Like I'm sure, Colin, you got like there's this like little sludge guy or whatever, like some zombie looking guy in the town, and he like stole my shit.
Yeah, he steals from you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? So you like beat him up, and I was like, oh, this guy's like a treasure goblin. He's dropping everything, and you like eventually beat him into a pulp. And he's like very sad and trying to make you feel guilty about it. Then later on, he asked me for 1,000 bones. I was like, dude, whoa. And I have no idea what this guy's going to give me, but it's giving me that feeling of like, and bones are like a valuable commodity in the game, like super valuable. Basically how they work is, if you guys have played Zelda 2, it's exactly like Zelda 2, how you level up. When you get enough bones, you have this thing where it's like strength, defense, your sub-weapon armor or ammo or the power of it, then you can turn your bones into that gemstone or whatever to bank it, essentially, so you don't have to worry about it. And by leveling up, like you level up your strength, it goes up by quite a bit more, so you're gonna have to save up a lot more if you want to do that. So I've never gotten to the point. I love the thing about this, Colin, is the economy is very tight. Things are extremely expensive, and I love that. I hate games when you have so much fucking money and you could just buy everything. It's one reason I love that Dragon Quest VIII so much, is because you really had to earn these pieces of equipment, but when you get them, they're super valuable. And I'm very curious to see how this turns, like what gets into, because it's like there's the basic things of like upgrading your damage or your weapon. I also picked the whip, Colin. How could we not pick the whip? You know?
Yeah, though the whip was obviously very appealing, but I wanted the reach of it. I went between. I tried all three of them, but I went with the. I was like, maybe the knives, but that requires me to get too close. You know? Yeah,
but cool thing about the hammer is, of course, it's very slow. But when you hold it, if you hold square or something like that, you can roll around, do these like dodges while you're also winding up for a swing. I'm like, that's a deeper mechanic than I thought they were going to add for a basic weapon. I wonder if you're going to learn more moves or something like that for your weapons. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's not apparent. Like there's a weapons dealer early in the game where there are even more options. So
yeah, there's more weapons. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I do, to the point of the bones, like you were saying, it is cool that it's an all inclusive thing. It's like it is your experience points, but also your currency. And so like you have to kind of figure out what you want to do with it and hold on to it for dear life if you can. And really, because the nature of the game is, you can't bank them quite the same way you bank them in a Bloodborne or an Elden Ring, where like you can't really level up as much. So the game is kind of trying to encourage you to spend them.
Yes.
Or you're going to lose them. And I wonder how high people can get the number as the game is out for months, if they can really like drive up. Because I think there is a trophy for spending tens of thousands. And so I wonder like how much you can hold on to and like the risk reward of that. And it sucks like dying against a boss, for instance. You know, they absorb like your soul kind of thing, and you have to beat them to get your bones back. And it's like if you die again, then you lose them. And if on a boss, the bosses are kind of tough, like the bosses and mini bosses. The game's movement takes a little bit to get used to, like the hollowing.
I love that mechanic. I think it's super cool.
It is cool, but I feel like it's because there is no diagonal movement in the game. It is fairly stringent in the way I think you have to use it, which is cool. I do like how it launches you, like when you get like you jump, you use it as a long jump. Yeah.
I think there's like a pretty decently high skill ceiling for like what type of game this is. What do you expect of it? I was like, when they just introduced the hauling mechanic, I was like, okay, you can do a lot with this. Actually, this can really set players apart and how they conquer this game. So I love that. As I was saying, with the upgrades and stuff like that and the money, how expensive everything is, I love that. And so far, everything I've seen has been pretty tantalizing of like, I want to get this. I hate games also when there's just a bunch of shit you don't even care about. You're like, I don't even need this kind of thing. Yeah. But here, like the relics that I've gotten, I only have 2 so far, but they've been very handy. One is when I get hit, this like weird little gremlin guy comes out and he boosts my attack speed and my damage I do to enemies. And I think that's super useful, like a nice little like rally mechanic kind of thing going on there. Another one is, you probably have this, Colin, is the spikes. It helps like reduce the damage you take from spikes. Because
I got that one. Yeah.
There is like, in this game, there was like a ton of like rooms, like think of like a Zelda game where you go from like square to square, or screen to screen, I should say. There's like a lot of that going on in this game. And there are a lot of like puzzle areas, or like gauntlets, I guess I should say. Like you have to go through this, like there's like a bunch of spikes and you got to hollow or burrow down through all that kind of stuff. There's like a lot of little like challenge rooms. I really love all that kind of shit. That's been really fun for me. I haven't done a final, like a big boss hit. Like I said, I got to the quote, maybe first dungeon in the game. So I'm like, it's like or at least I'm at is like a mansion. I assume, I was curious how it was going to be, Colin, like, will you be able to go to different, like, have multiple options or routes you want to go throughout the game kind of thing? Like, I'm going to tackle this area first or that area first. I don't know if that's something in the game yet. I'm not sure. Seemingly, though, it seems like no, from what I've experienced, but I wonder if that'll open up more down the line, because they make a point of telling you early on in the game, like, these are the locations you're going to go to that are,
it's like 6 dungeons, I think, right?
Yeah.
They could do something like 1, 2, 3, right? Like in other words, like you have to go to 1, then you'll have an option of going to 2, 1 of 2, and then when you get those, then there'll be 3 before you that you go to, or maybe 1, 2, 2, 1, something like that. That would be very like Link to the Past or something.
Yeah. So I'll be curious how that goes, or how that goes. Like you said, I think the music is excellent so far.
Yeah,
the really good.
Music's on point.
But yeah, I've been super impressed with the game. I think this is much more of a, like, I love Shovel Knight 2, Colin. Like, I'm super big into it, but if they said Shovel Knight is their Mario and this is their Zelda, Zelda is like my thing. This is like, this game is made for someone exactly like me. So I'm eating all this shit up. I haven't run into the issues yet. Like I said, I'm not as far as you in the game, so I don't know. Maybe this will turn where I'm like, I wish, like, I checked to see if there's a map in the game. I was like, oh, no map. Interesting. But I haven't gotten to the point yet where I'm like, this, I really need something like this to remind me of things like that. That could definitely come in as I get further into the game. But so far, I haven't had really a problem remembering things, or like being like, I need to revisit this thing. I guess I've passed several like key things, because there are like locks and you need keys for them, but like you're probably not going to have enough keys for them. So maybe that'll become an issue later as I progress.
Yeah, I had to go buy keys, which you can do a little bit of just to progress the story. Because I'm like, I'm not even sure where the fuck I'm supposed to find these. But I know you can find them in the wild, but I'm just not finding them. It's funny you say that, because I feel like there's a lot to remember, and I am definitely not going to remember everything. Because like you're saying, you come across the little hollowing holes where you can go down to like these little bonus stages. Even in the town, there's like a shit ton of things to do in the town. And stores you can't even get into until you get like a second orb and all of the rest. It's I'm surprised. I mean, you have probably a much better memory than me for obvious reasons, and maybe not obvious reasons. But at the same time, I'm like, I can't. It's maybe a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, you know what? I think Colin is like a lot of it. I'm just not really sweating it. I'm just kind of been like,
oh yeah, it's
when
hard
I get
for me.
here, I'll feel, like, yeah, it's like I don't need to take a mental note of everything because I know I'll be returning to these places over and over again, kind of thing like that. And I'll periodically check in, I suppose. I guess I'm much more okay with kind of missing things, or especially like a first time go through. I love playing blind, just been like, I find what I find, and if I miss some things, it is what it is. It's okay. So maybe that's a reason why. I don't really know. Or maybe I'm just in the total headspace because I played through the Oracle games recently, which are confusing in their own rights. So I don't know. But like I said, still very early in the game. I'm only like 2 hours into the game, so I have a long way to go. But so far, I am very, very pleased with the game. It's definitely one of my favorite games I've played this year. I wouldn't be surprised if it is my game of the year by the time I finish it. Because it's made for someone exactly like me. So I'm very thrilled with it. I'm personally happy they did this instead of another Shovel Knight. I think you need to go back to Shovel Knight, but I'm really happy they're trying something new. And because it speaks to me more, I guess I should say. When Shovel Knight comes back, dude, I'm going to be thrilled. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I love Shovel Knight.
Yeah, but, I mean, I'm putting a pin in that for now because I would assume I'm going to love what Shovel Knight is, but a 3D Shovel Knight is dangerous, and
sure,
I believe in them. It's I think they should have gotten there, but it's like we never got like a sequel to Shovel Knight. We never got Shovel Knight X. We just jumped straight to Shovel Knight 64, as it were. And I'm like, come on, man. That to me is like losing sight of what was so fun about Shovel Knight, that we need more. And I know that they would say we got 3 expansions, but I'm like, we all know that they are remixed versions of the original game. There's very little new stuff in it. I wanted new knights and a new adventure and a new story and all that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too greedy, but that I guess I part of it comes from, it's like, it's not jealousy. It's like envy of being like, you have what we want at Lilymo so bad, and that you've made something that now you made 2 things that people really love. And it's like, I would have just loved to have one of those things. And I feel like I would have, who cares what I would have done, but I would have just done it so different, you know?
Yeah, I get it. Well, either way, I absolutely recommend Mina the Hollower.
I do too. I mean, you just know what you're getting into in terms of like, it's not for everyone.
It's not a cakewalk. I'll say that. If you're looking for something to just kick back and relax and have a great time with, you're going to have to buckle up for this game a little bit. You're going to have to, I was going to say strap in, but that might be a little too
strap
much
on.
now. Strap on, that might be a little too much.
But yeah, it's a game I have to spend so much more time with, and that I think I'll probably have an adventure with in terms of my own feelings for it. Not unlike, I remember being much dicier, for instance, on Returnal when it came out, and then when I really spent time with it, I ended up loving it. And I love Returnal. Like I think it's way better than Saros, for instance. So, with Mina, yeah, it's like I know that there's so much more for me to learn about it, and I'm going to give it all the time it deserves, because it does deserve the time. They are masters of the craft, and that was the one thing that's one thing when I was looking at the graphics and listening to it and just seeing it, I'm like, this is what is possible in this space, with the space that Lilymo occupies when you have like budget and time. And I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. It's so awesome. Like just from an aesthetic perspective, from a goal perspective in terms of what they were trying to do and what they were trying to portray. I think it's cool. And it's unlike NES, SNES, Genesis kind of shit. There's not a lot of game stuff that explores Game Boy Color, Game Boy Pocket.
You're right, yeah. Hayden Glassroad said, howdy, simmering summoners. Is it reasonable to say that Yacht Club Games is safe now? Mina seems to be a hit, and they still have Shovel Knight DX on the horizon. I feel like we should be giving them more grief for mismanaging their time and resources, but frankly, I'm just happy to finally have Mina. However mishandled Yacht Club may be, they still have that sauce.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I think they get plenty of shit, especially from Colin here.
Yeah, I mean, I give them a lot of shit just because I got tired. I mean, let's be fair. 12 years between games is crazy.
Yeah.
Most studios would not be able to survive. So they did themselves really proud by being able to have a war chest to be able to do this. And I think that's why it was so important that this game did well, because I think they spent all their money on it. I mean, and again, what I said earlier, it's not because it is an expensive game per se. It is because it took so long. And there was an opportunity cost in releasing it. I'm sure they had more concrete plans about revenue and all the rest. And yeah, Shovel Knight DX is on the horizon, and I am looking forward to it, which is basically like a full package of everything Shovel Knight that I think will be like kind of with some new perks and redesigns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which will be cool. And I'll be all over that. So yeah, I'm pleased as well, and I hope that they can just move forward, and I hope Mina does well for them. Like
Me too.
there are unfortunately no guarantees in this industry, but I think that them releasing a game is not unlike. It's funny, like they have Way Forward DNA, literally, and Way Forward the studio. And this actually feels much more like, I was saying this to Mike, I'm like, this feels more like a Way Forward game than actually than Shovel Knight. Like this is them making something even older, like Shantae or something like that. And Shantae is a good example of a game that really has the handheld legacy definitely. As well. But yeah, I think that hopefully they'll be in order, and their finances will be in order and stuff. Like I think they got rid of their studio, like their space. They were in Marina Del Rey.
Yeah.
And I think they're all like distributed now. And so hopefully it'll just be cheaper and easier. And I also think Shovel Knight 3D or whatever it's going to be called is fairly far along. And so I don't think it's going to be much longer.
Okay. Meatball Run said, "Sup, Brad, Colin, and Better Dustin." Wow.
That's fucked up.
Fucked up, yeah.
I'm about only 2 hours into Mina, but I gotta say this game's absolutely wonderful. My only concern is that I can already tell it's going to filter some people, myself included. Are people who use the optional modifier still considered real gamers? Are they still worthy of love? Please call me a giant bitch or comfort me and tell me it'll be okay.
I only know these exist because I saw someone post about them. So I haven't even
seen them yet. Yeah, I haven't even looked at them yet. I have no idea. But you're a bitch, Meatballs. I really want to hear.
Well, I just think this is the great question about like the Carcosian modifier in Saros, where it's like that's so front and center that it feels like it's actually meant to be used. Like that
was my understanding of that. I was like, is this like a mechanic you're supposed to use in the game, not like an optional thing?
Well, it doesn't. I mean, I explained it like from a UI perspective and a UX perspective, where I'm like, when you go to the menu, it's literally in the middle. It's the middle choice.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It's the middle choice. Yeah. But in Mina the Hollower, you have to like go and hollow through the menus in order to find it. Like I've not even seen it naturally. So I don't think that's why I'm saying it's like they seem much more optional in Mina. I'm interviewing the creative director of Saros in a few days. And one of the questions I'm going to ask him is like, what is the deal with these? Like, I want to know from your perspective, like, are they meant to be used or are they cheats? Because they're prominently displayed almost as if the game was designed around them. I don't feel like Mina was designed around those modifiers.
Yeah, it feels like it's designed around it, Colin, because you unlock like the nodes to increase like the meter or whatever, how much you can spend on the meter, from my understanding.
Cool.
Yeah. So like my understanding was like, I was like, yeah, you're probably supposed to mess with this, right? This is not like an accessibility kind of thing, I guess.
Right. That's the way I'll find out soon enough because I'll be talking to Gregory Loudon. But it's like, yeah, I loved that. The problem with the reason that Saros feels broken in a way, should the Carcosan modifiers be necessary, is the things you have to give up don't seem requisite to the things you can get. So like there are bad things. So what Brad is, for people that don't know, like what Brad is describing is that there's like almost like a gas looking meter, like an odometer, and it's centered at 0. And then you have, I think each thing has like a certain number of points, and I think you can get it down to like -6 or +6. And you have to keep it within that range. And so it forces you to make sacrifices to your gameplay in order to get things you want. But the thing is that like I can be like, oh, I'll take bad fall damage, but I'll do twice as much damage. Yeah. It's like that's not really equivalent, right?
Yeah,
things
definitely.
like, or like I won't get any more of that purple substance, but I'll take much less damage. It's like, all right. So like that's the thing where I'm like, I don't know. That's the first thing I'm gonna ask. So it's funny it came up.
Yeah.
I need to hear it from the horse's mouth.
What do you think, Colin? Do you think Meatball's a bitch, or is it fine?
Well, this is what I'm saying. I think he's more of a bitch than he would be in Saros, because I feel like it's not. These kinds of things are. It's do what you want. I mean, these things are. It's hard for me to know what is what, right? I've said before that when we tune our games at Lilymo, we are always wrong. The games are always harder than we thought. You get used to playing a thing over and over again. It's kind of what you were saying about Zelda 1. Like Zelda 1 is probably in a position where like it simply cannot be hard to me anymore. Like it's just, it is what it is. And so we always have to like tune things later. I think modifiers, in-game modifiers can be interpreted two very different ways, right? It's like, one is like we simply can't tune the game properly. We've had 100 people play test it. Everyone gives us different feedback. Just here, right? Or it could be like it could be the exact opposite, which is we just want the game to be accessible to as many people as possible. and we don't really care about like your arbitrary what is hard and what isn't conversation. So like there are games like Cuphead where it's like you just got to do it. There's nothing you can do, and then there are games like this where I guess you can modify it heavily and do whatever you want. I just you kind of have to read into how buried and non-obvious the shit is pertaining to the original, to that particular title and whether it's intended or not. And that's the other thing I will say about this game, which is really cool. And I'm stealing this idea for the next Lilimo game, no doubt. Although I must admit that I kind of had this idea. I just never executed on it. So seeing it in person, I was like, oh yes, they have like a full NES style manual in the game. And I was like, yeah, definitely. Like that definitely going to be doing that. Because I actually kind of wanted to do that with Saint Slayer. A lot of things I wanted in Saint Slayer, as I said, didn't end up in the game. And one of those things was I wanted to have more of like a log of things, and like because there's so many like items, and so I did appreciate that they basically are like, here's everything, like everything you need to know. You don't have to dig around. Just here it is, and it's presented in a very, very cogent NES manual style, which I think is neat. So like that.
Two things, Lockmort. Is Meatball a bitch? And two, you watched me play this a little bit. What did you think?
Well, I'm always so sad when I hear you guys talk about this game. That's why I didn't say anything, because I didn't grow up in that era, so I know nothing about Zelda or those older games or NES games. But when I saw you stream it, it looked awesome. And Colin, what you said about the game not telling you anything or not having a map, to someone like me, that sounds like heaven. Like, I love it when a game doesn't tell me anything and I have to look for everything myself, and it gives me crap constantly, and I have to go back and backtrack and don't forget about things myself. I love it when games do that, which is very PC coded too. Like a lot of CRPGs do that too. So yeah, I definitely want to play this. It looked so cool, Brad, when I saw you play it. I saw you arrive in that little town with that little fleshy monster that stole your things. I didn't know it was going to be like that. I had no idea what to expect of this game because I didn't grow up in that era you guys grew up in. So to me, this is completely foreign, but I think it's cool. So yes, I definitely want to play it. How is it like I have no idea. How long is this game?
I assume this is going to be 20 plus hours.
Oh, okay.
I think it'll be heavily skill dependent. Like I said, there is a trophy to beat in under 4 hours, so it can definitely be done. But knowing where to go, that will get a little bit into my sorted out actually a little later. So I won't spoil it now. But yeah, I think it'll be dependent. It's heavily skill dependent probably. And like I'll admit, I had to look at a walkthrough at some point where I'm like, what am I supposed to what direction am I going in? Because when you leave the town, you can kind of go south, and it feels like there's things there that to do. And I'm like, but you can also go east. And because the game is so challenging, I'm like, I just want to know where I'm supposed to go. And I'll figure out all the puzzles and what I'm supposed to do. And so I finally found myself in a certain direction. So, but that was after I was like, I also want to be kind of cognizant of my time. I agree with you. If I was younger, this would probably be a much more attractive game. It's just, I don't want to spend, and because I would be like, oh, this is like, what is it? $20 or something? 30 bucks,
$20.
$20. That's a great price. And such an affordable price.
Yeah.
And, I'd be like, oh my God, I can play this for like a month. But now I just don't have that kind of, I mean, I can do whatever I want, I guess, but I don't feel like I have that luxury.
Are you like scared of missing out on stuff if you
not scared of missing out. I just feel like there are things I want to play. I want to always be playing something different. Sometimes I get sucked into a game. Like 2 months last year were dedicated to Death Stranding 1 and 2. That's all I played. Yeah. Right. And I platinumed them both back to back. It's fun, and I did that, and it didn't really matter, but it's not probably the wisest use of time if I want to be credible in terms of like having a broad array of things to play. I think there's like 1, maybe 2 games a year where I'll like go really crazy with it and like go mega deep and play it for 100 hours. But that's not kind of what I want to do.
Sure. Meatball he's like a marathon fan. So yeah, he's a bitch. He's also a great guy. Meatball is great.
Yeah, we're just kidding, Meatball.
Meatball's lovely.
We're just joshing. I don't give a shit how you play a game, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
But you are a pussy. Anyways, let's move on. Lockmort, The Witcher 3. I assume you're back because the DLC got announced. New DLC for the game, by the way, for a game that's 11 years old.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Amazing. Yeah. We knew it was going to happen, or at least everybody suspected it was going to happen, right? Because there were already rumors that they were going to do something this year, and I think it's been 11 years, and The Witcher 4 was around the corner. I don't know who broke the news that there was going to be DLC, but I want to say it was like a couple of months ago, right?
There's been a rumor for a while.
Yeah, so somebody broke the news, and then I felt so bad for them because a day before their stream, they had to confirm it on Twitter because it got leaked, right? It got leaked on the store or something. It got leaked and somewhere.
Yeah, something like that.
That it was definitely real and that it was coming. But yeah, as soon as they announced that the DLC was coming, I had to go. I have to play The Witcher 3 again. I have like 400 hours on PC. And I loved every second of it. I have multiple playthroughs, but I never played it on console. I never played it on PS5. And I'm not a trophy kind of guy, but I do have, I think, 4 or 5 plats in games that really mean a lot to me. And I feel like I have to get the plat in The Witcher 3 as well. It's a matter of
that's a tough one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very long one too.
Yeah, it's like you have to beat it on the very hard, right? And then
Death March.
Yes, exactly.
I remember that. It's funny. I'm sorry to interrupt, Block, but I remember playing Witcher 3 for the first time on PS4, and originally I would always start on the hardest difficulty in games just to see if I can do it, and it just beat the shit out of me. Like I was like, I can't do this. This would be the worst thing in the world. So I just went back to normal.
But that's the fun of The Witcher 3 though, because that's the point of it, right? Like at the start, it like beats your ass on Death March is called, like the hardest difficulty. But the good thing about it is if you stick with it, every level up, it gradually becomes way easier. And at the end, you're just like a killing machine again. But if you start at the lower difficulty, you're already kind of a killing machine, which makes sense because you're a Witcher, I guess. But if you play it on Death March, you really have to use your science and your potions and your alchemy. So it kind of, Death March should have been like the default difficulty. I almost wish like they didn't give us difficulty options and they should have just put it on Death March without giving people the option. Because I feel like for the plat, yeah, you have to play it on Death March, but it's also the only way I can play it right now. If I play it on a lower difficulty, there's like no challenge anymore. But that's also because after like 400 hours, of course. But yeah, The Witcher 3, I was there from the start with The Witcher 1 on PC when it was like a CRPG only. And I remember not many people played it back then. It was like from this small studio as CD Projekt Red in Poland.
Much more
PC
limited.
only.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I loved The Witcher. That's why it was on my list, which I still didn't forget that you made me made for no reason. It was on there because I loved that game so much. I spent the entire summer with it, and it was so cool, and it was so unique, and it was so special too, because your choices actually mattered in the game. A lot of games always promise that, but The Witcher 1 actually did it. Your choices did matter, and everybody had like a pretty vastly different experience with it. And then afterwards came The Witcher 2, of course, Xbox and PC, not on PlayStation, I think.
Nope.
Sadly.
Nope. Never on PlayStation, as far as I'm aware.
Nope. That's a shame. The Witcher 2, equally great. It did one of those things that only a handful of games ever did. At the end of Act 1, you made a choice, and depending on that choice, the entirety of Act 2 was different, which is insane. Different location, different NPCs, different quests, different story, completely different. So The Witcher 2 was basically 2 or 3 games in one, which was amazing. The cool thing about The Witcher 1, and especially The Witcher 2, is that the story kind of follows each other. They all take place after the books. And The Witcher 1 did let you carry over your save in The Witcher 2, but it was only equipment. It didn't really matter what you did. It was just like some armor piece and a sword, I think, and that was it. But when they announced they were making The Witcher 3, everybody who played The Witcher 1 and The Witcher 2 knew this was going to be the big one. So all those people, including myself, were like, this is it. This is going to be the big one. And I remember the same thing happened with Baldur's Gate 3, and the same thing happened last year with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, where you have to fight against hundreds of people who tell you no. Like, I've never heard about The Witcher. I don't care about The Witcher. Like, Baldur's Gate, stupid CRPG. Kingdom Come Deliverance, who cares? Well, you know that this is going to be huge and this is going to be big. And the same thing happened with The Witcher 3, which turned out to be one of the most amazing games of all time, I feel like. It's going to happen again, maybe. I should say maybe, this week with Gothic Remake. We'll see. I don't know how the remake will turn out, but if they do it right, if they did it the right way, it's not going to sell, but I think it'll be like a cold hit in this case. And I think Gothic 2 because Gothic 1 was a great game. Gothic 2 was a seminal game. The Witcher is based on Gothic. The director, everyone who worked on that game, a lot of them worked on Gothic 2. The whole vibe of The Witcher is based on the vibe of Gothic, which is amazing. But The Witcher 3, 400 hours on PC, multiple playthroughs. But the problem is, every time I only finished it once, and every time I played it after that initial playthrough, I get halfway through, and I'm like, yeah, but there's other stuff to play. I can't really justify putting another 200 hours in it. So I have multiple playthroughs on it, and I always stop them after like 30, 40 hours after the Bloody Baron. So now I think it's time, after 10 years, after a decade, to finally jump back in and get that plat. I can do it in one playthrough. I do have to play it on Death March, but that's no problem. I know where everything is. I think The Witcher 3, to me, is one of those perfect games, like Red Dead Redemption 2, like The Last of Us 2. It's an open world game with a purpose, which we don't see. I think there's only 2 open world games that ever did that, which are Red Dead Redemption 2 and The Witcher 3. Everything has meaning. Everything happens organically. You might have a map filled with quests, but it happens gradually. It's not a Ubisoft game where you have to perform the same chores over and over again. The story, the characters, the quests, they all have meaning. Your choices actually matter. Your choices from The Witcher 2 carry over to The Witcher 3, and they have a big impact on the story.
I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you can import your saves on the Xbox and PC versions?
I think you can import them on PC.
I didn't know that.
I don't know if Xbox like you do, but they do give you the choices. Yeah. They also give you the choices in the game itself. Like they ask you, do you want to import, or do you want to just follow this little story and import them? Right.
So that's what Mass Effect did back in the day too. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And they play a big part too, because there's this whole character arc that's not even in The Witcher 3 if you choose to not import it from The Witcher 2. You were going to say who it is?
No. Well, I was just thinking something else. I was like, there's a big character in The Witcher 2 that just doesn't show up in 3. And it pisses me off. They're like, we couldn't figure it out. I'm like, you couldn't figure out how to put this character in the game. Really? Yeah. You figured out everything else except this one character?
Brett's talking about Yorvet is one of the main characters in The Witcher 2. He's like a fan favorite. Everybody loves him. He's like the rebel leader. But for some reason, he's the only character that doesn't appear. He survives in The Witcher 2, which is a spoiler, I guess. But he's the only character that doesn't appear in The Witcher 3. And for years, over a decade, people have been asking the developers, where is he? Why wasn't he in there? And the answer was always, we just didn't know how to fit him in. But, Brad, what do you think the chances are that we will see him now in this DLC? I think it's pretty big.
Interesting.
I give it like a 30% chance.
30?
Yeah.
They know everybody wants
I mean, if they don't have plans for him in Witcher 4, I don't know why they would.
To wrap up his
Or
story,
they'll be like, we'll save him for Witcher 4.
You think so? Yeah.
I don't know. Like they've done everybody else pretty much, it seems like.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's called, the DLC is called Songs of the Past, right?
Mm-hmm.
So of course, it has to be something with the past, I assume. So,
yeah,
and also, The Witcher 4 is Ciri, and it's no longer Geralt. So I feel like, I hope
wrap it up.
Yeah, I hope they do something with it.
Yeah, I hope they do.
But to continue, the special thing about The Witcher 3 is the characters. It's all about the characters and the story here. The characters change throughout the course of the game. You have actual character development, like in TV shows, like in movies. Geralt changes throughout the story. Some people die, others live. There's a couple of really big choices you have to make. No spoilers, of course, about who dies and who lives, who comes with you, who stays a friend, who becomes an enemy. The voice acting is impeccable here. There's 3 giant maps in this game. It all sounds intimidating, maybe, right? Maybe to you, Colin. I don't know. Have you played The Witcher 3?
Yeah, I played it for about 40 hours in 2015, but I became overwhelmed by it ultimately. My joke back in the day was like just the question mark. You'd go to the question mark on the map, you'd like solve the thing, and then like 5 more question marks would pop up, and then you go to one of those and 3 more would pop up, and it just felt like I can never get anywhere. But that actually speaks to me a lot more now than it did during that particular era, because that was still when I was like kind of funny and I still had a lot more expectations about getting through games and stuff like that. So I would like to so I know Fool's Theory is remaking Witcher 1, and the guys that are making the expansion. And I've never played Witcher 1 or 2, so I've always wanted to go back to Witcher 3, but I feel like they're going to get back to these, and I'll just maybe play them in order at some point. And maybe they'll even culminate with Witcher 4 by the time because that's far away, obviously. So, right?
Yeah. Well, they're making Witcher 4 first, and then Witcher 1 remake is coming out. So
I thought that Fool's Theory Studio was like contracting on Witcher 4 and making the Witcher 1 remake. So the Witcher 4 will come first.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe I don't know what order I'll do it in then. Because I feel like a little bit of a pose, or not like it's not even feeling like, it's like it is kind of like lame to play The Witcher 3 and have no familiarity with the other two games, which are like incredibly relevant. Like Micah's a huge fan of The Witcher, and she loves the books.
Oh yeah.
And so I always defer to her on that, but I'm like, yeah, it's like, I don't feel like what you're saying, like all these people appear in The Witcher 3. I'm like, I don't know who the fuck any of these people are. It would be kind of cooler to, and I know it doesn't matter, but it would be cooler to have all that context. So I might have to wait some time to do that.
Sure.
They kind of made it for people like you. That's why they remember when The Witcher 3 came out and it just called, they were insistent that it was called Witcher the Wild Hunt.
Right.
They
Yes.
really didn't want to call it The Witcher 3 because of that. Because I've basically all my friends, basically everybody I know, because not many people played The Witcher 1, started with The Witcher 3 and then they went back. So it really is made for like it's a great jumping point. Let's put it that way. Because I know what you're saying, and I agree. I have that too with games. Like I want to start with the first one. If I can, I want to start with the first one. But I feel like here you don't really have to. It's like a cool extra, of course, because characters do appear. But I think you can safely skip the first one, and you can even play the second one if you want to on Xbox.
Well, I could do that. Yeah.
Because I get. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say I always found it peculiar that they were Xbox console exclusives. I wonder like what that was all about. I think they did fit well in that generation actually on Xbox, but I was curious like what the deal was about them ever migrating to PlayStation, and they just never did. That was what made Wild Hunt so interesting. I guess because they couldn't really ignore the platform at that point. I don't know if that was originally always the idea, but
yeah. The Witcher 2 was also such a huge success, both on Xbox and PC, that they got the money for it, I presume, to just put it everywhere. I guess they didn't need the exclusivity money anymore.
It's funny, like, I was aware of The Witcher before The Witcher 3 in the games, and I knew it was based on some Polish novel. And I also knew, and I was always fascinated by the fact that, like, what's his name? What's the author's name? Krakowski or something like that, or some fucking Polish.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So
something like that.
And how he kind of like got ripped off by CD Projekt. And I always thought that was a really fun story, like not intentionally. For people that don't know, I guess the story goes that like they offered him a percentage or a lump sum for the license, and he took the lump sum, which was a massive error. But that Poland has very friendly contract law, where if something is manifestly unfair, they force it to be redone. And they looked at this and they're like, this is completely unfair. And so I was like, you got lucky, man. Because I think he took something like $500,000 or something. And I'm like, what a fucking moron. But like, how could he have known at the same time? But like, what a bad bet. He was lucky he's not in the United States, because he'd be stuck to that license in perpetuity.
Sure.
Whether that's fair or not. So I was always more fascinated and interested in that stuff. And then when the game came to PS4, it seemed like I actually went to an event for it. Like and played it earlier or whatever, which was weird because I never went to events, but I went to that event. And it just seemed like The Witcher became 25 times more relevant overnight. Like it didn't even really register to me. It's like, oh, who gives a shit? Like ultimately, it's like this nerdy thing or whatever. And then I really loved it. I played it and I thought it was great. It was very overwhelming for me at the time.
Yeah, I think it happened to the developers as well. Like it became like a sensation overnight almost, because people who played 1 and 2 knew that it was going to happen, but 3 became such a success that I don't think anybody really anticipated it to be.
Yeah, I mean, 40 million units? No, I don't think so. And I mean, and this is what I keep saying about global markets is like they make these games in Poland. Games are really cheap to make there. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just it's substantially cheaper to make a game there than it is in Western Europe, or especially in the United States or Canada. Yeah. And so they're selling these games that are made at like a cut of what a normal burn rate would be for a studio in, say, California, and they sell it in USD on the global market. Their operating margins must be insane. And I think the only reason that they probably wouldn't be even higher is because they kind of botched Cyberpunk for a little while. But even that ended up working out. And by the way, I should say that I am a mega Cyberpunk fan. Like I thought that game was exceptional. I couldn't believe how good that game was. Couldn't believe it.
Fantastic game.
It was awesome.
Should be the template for every first person RPG.
It was incredible. Like I was like, now I waited till the PS5 version. Granted, but
with Phantom Liberty and all that stuff.
Well, I didn't play Phantom Liberty. Because that came even later, actually. I think.
Oh man, you didn't play Phantom Liberty?
No. People have been pushing me to play it, but I'm like, what I'll probably end up doing is when Cyberpunk, the next one, comes out in the years to come. I don't know, it'll be 5 years or whatever. I'll probably, hopefully, it's not that long, but I imagine it will be.
It's going to be that. Yeah. It's going to be longer than that.
Hopefully I'll be able to do the Final Fantasy VII style. Like I'll just play Cyberpunk again. I'll play Phantom Liberty at that point, and then I'll move into the next one because just to remind myself of everything. But yeah, I was blown away by it. Actually, I was like, I can't believe how good this is. This is they're an exceptional team, and I think again, I think they just benefit from that market economy, that global market economy of just being able to not make games in the United States. I'm telling you right now, like there's big problems for American game devs, man.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no way they can compete with Japan or Poland or Ukraine was coming up. Unfortunately, that's not really happening for them anymore, but like 4A and others, I think they moved to Malta. And soon like India's coming online, China's coming online. Like the first India Hero Project game just released a few weeks ago for PlayStation. So they're like starting to churn games out of there. China starting to churn games, South Korea. It's not to say we can't do it. We make great games in the United States. It's to say that the average salary in the United States of this game studio is 6 figures. And they pay people out of college at Capcom in Japan something like $28,000 a year. So,
yeah,
it is what it is.
It's about to happen again, maybe in September when Blood of the Dawnwalker releases. That could be potentially another one. Same people who make
Rebel Wolves, right? Yeah, I am. That is my most anticipated game right now. That speaks to me, and I love vampires and I love Eastern Europe. So it's it doesn't feel like Castlevania at all, but it's the closest we'll get to like a Castlevania setting for some time. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And I've said before, Locke, I love that first trailer of them in the church, and like with I'm like, this is fucking sick. This is so good. All the different vampire characters, and it looks like one of them is like a Cossack or something like that. Like, I was like, this is insanity. It's so good. And he's got the like his wrist over the girl's mouth or whatever, and and he's moving around really fast, and the gothic kind of architecture.
You already know it's going to be quality because it's the same people who made The Witcher 3. It's the same director, same music guys. It's almost the same team. Well, not the same team, but it's a lot of the same people. So you would assume that it's going to be the same quality, or
I would hope so,
or equally good.
I think it'll be good. I'm surprised Bandai Namco got it. I wonder if there was any sort of bidding war, if they were just kind of there. And Bandai Namco is very quietly, they've really are doing a great job of themselves. I think that it's just that they're kind of being compared to Capcom and others, and it's just not going to be like that.
Yeah. But yeah, The Witcher 3 giant maps, it can be intimidating to some people, but I think the 3 maps are so distinct. You got War-Torn Velen, which is basically, it's so cool. It's like a whole area where just a civil war just took place. You just arrived there after the war is basically sort of over. Not really, it's still going on. But
cool environmental storytelling, I remember in those, like just finding like just the remnants of a skirmish or something. It's cool.
Yeah, constantly, right? Like everywhere. It's so, especially... Well, maybe for people who live in the US too, but especially for people living in Europe, like where we live in those areas here. Well, not anymore, but like there's still remnants of like World War I, World War II everywhere here. So you can envision how it must have been like for these developers to make these areas. There's also a lot of references to Belgium in there, like the city of Bruges. A lot of names come from Belgium. The way the war started, the way Nilfgaard basically attacked Velen is very Germany-like. I think the story, that's of course down to the author, but I think they did such a great job there. And I think the way they depicted it here, especially also if you get to the city of Novigrad, which basically looks like a medieval European city. That's how most cities here, what I say, still kind of look. Like my city still kind of looks like Novigrad, not as cool and not as pretty, of course. And we do have like stores and stuff there now, but it still has that similar vibe, or Bruges, like I said earlier. And then when you get to Skellige, basically Ireland, the UK, really cool too. And then, of course, Toussaint in the DLC. which is like fairy tale France. Beautiful, great.
Yeah.
The maps are so distinct. It's such a wonderful, wonderful experience playing through this game. The combat, like I said, like we talked about earlier, a lot of people have like a problem with the combat, or they say that that's the. Oh, you have a problem with the combat? Yeah. What
it's by far the weakest aspect of the entire game. It's serviceable. It's the best serviceable.
You played it on Death March,
I did.
I assume, right?
I did.
What did you didn't like the side?
Quinn. It's all about Quinn, spamming that for most of the game.
Just don't use it.
Just don't use your magic?
Yeah, no, just don't use Quinn. That's like
why? It's by far the best spell in the game.
Well, it's like a little bit of a cheat, no? Like you said, like you spam it and they can't hit you. So
I know. Well, to me, that's like bad game design. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe. Sure, yeah. But if you just decide for yourself to not use it, it becomes way more.
I think it's too floaty feeling as well with Geralt swinging around. There's like no impact or sense of impact at all in the game.
Yep. That's my one negative. That's my one negative with the entire game. The movement is terrible. It's way too floaty. There's no weight whatsoever to the game.
Yeah.
Even when you're running around, you don't feel like you're actually running around on the controller. Like it feels terrible.
But aside from that, everything else is exceptional. So it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very sad that there's no mod to fix that. There are a couple like movements mod that I downloaded, but none of them feel great. Like this game would have benefited so much from like a Dark Souls type of feeling in the movement.
Sense of impact,
I hope that they knew that in The Witcher 4.
Me too, yeah.
But what they do right here, what they do with the equipment and the loot, and you do have to find Witcher school gear, treasure hunts, which is
I
really
loved all
cool.
that stuff, yeah.
The trophies that you get, the Witcher trophies from like getting certain contracts, giant monsters you have to kill. The gear actually matters. The weapons actually matter. Just talking about it gets me so hyped up to just play it all night again, which I can't.
Yeah, it's an easy recommend for anybody. And it's on modern consoles now. They like made versions for PS5 and Series X and S.
There is one annoyance with that though, because they did make current gen versions, but the PS5 Pro, for instance, you can play it on ray. Oh, you can, but it's in 30 FPS.
There's no Pro patch, as far as I'm aware, for that.
No, which makes me very sad. But because if you turn the ray tracing on, it really transforms the game. It looks amazing with the ray tracing on, but it still looks good in the other thing too.
Hartford the Whale wrote and said, Locke and Brad, what is your favorite quest in The Witcher 3 and why is it the Bloody Baron? I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday, but I remember that quest so well as it is so multi-layered, tragic, and full of twists. I would ask Cobra Commander as well, but we all know he has a phobia of excessive question marks on a map. So he never finished it. Take care.
It's too much mystery.
There's too many. There's too many question marks on the map.
Too titillating.
Definitely remember the Bloody Baron because it is a very long quest line and it's fairly early in the game, so it's pretty easy to remember. I'm trying to remember what this was called, Locke, but I remember a moment there was like this wraith at a part, like in a bog kind of area, and you could either like destroy its bones to get rid of it or something like that. But I did it, and it turns out I made a fucking mistake by doing that, and I killed someone in the process. I was like, oh shit. That's the kind of stuff I remember for the game. It's just outcomes I didn't expect or didn't intend happening.
That's a Witcher contract, right? Like Lady in the Well.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I can't remember.
It's a great crown. I think mine is a greedy god. Remember, you find these two peasants. They're like praying at an altar. You find them, and they're praying at this altar and like delivering food to the altar. And you ask them, or Geralt asks them what they're doing, and they're telling you that their god is angry because he doesn't accept the food anymore. He thinks the food is below par and he deserves better food. So the god curses them, and they're very afraid. So they ask you to go deal with the god. You get to the altar. You pray at the altar, or you talk with the god at the altar, and the god tells you that the food is subpar. He deserves better food. But then you find out it's this fat, ugly monster that's just hiding below the altar. That's like eating cookies all day and like and pastries and stuff. And you can decide to kill him or keep him alive. I think that one is really great. I think a tower full of mice is a great quest with the magic lamp. Remember, like the Kira Metz quest?
Oh, I kind of remember that. Yeah, it's been a while since I've played through a lot of that stuff, so I can't remember super well. But yes, I'd have brief moments.
There's so many great quests.
There's a lot of good quests in that game. Definitely,
of course. Yeah. There's great
ass game. All right, Boys, sorted out time. Anything for you guys this week for sorted out? Anything you're not pleased with in gaming?
I mean, there's always things I'm not pleased with. I can go first, I guess.
Yeah.
Sorted out people who say how long games are. I feel like you're always wrong. And maybe it's just the way I'm playing games. I showed people when I was playing Pragmata, or actually no, it was Resident Evil Requiem, like how I play these games where I like look around and like look at things and try to be in the world. And so I'm not trying to play however you want. I don't give a shit. But it seems to me like everyone's always undershooting how long games are to the point where it's almost never right. And Pragmata, which we're going to talk about in a little while, is one of those examples where like everyone's like, this is like a 10-hour game. I'm like, what? The fuck are you talking about? Like I played through it. I'm like, maybe if you just play it on easy and don't do anything, it's 10 hours. But how could you have possibly experienced the game in 10 hours? Doesn't make any sense. Again, I think people conflate when I say things like that as being like, it's not possible. And I'm like, well, no, it's possible. I watch Summoning Salt and I see what people do to games. And I'm not saying you're doing that either, but it's like, stop and smell the roses a little bit. Everyone's complaining about how short and bite-sized some of this stuff is and how they want longer games, but they like just run through them. And I don't know how you can play like Pragmata to a lesser example, but Requiem's just one of those great examples where it's like, this game is awesome. Like, take your time, man.
Yeah.
So, you know,
take your time. So
sorted out people who say how long games are, because I just feel like it's always wrong. You're always wrong. And
always wrong.
I noticed that in trophy guides too. It's like, it'll take this long to get this platinum trophy and it takes me like twice as long as that. Maybe it's just me, but I'm like, how are you doing it this quick? Like what? And I feel like maybe those people are playing it much more mechanically at that point to get the platinum. But so I always just feel like I'm a little bit out on an island by myself with this stuff. Cause I feel like even when someone says, oh, a game is 10 or 12 hours, I'm like, sounds good. But then you play it and it's more like 16 to 18 or something. And you're like, well, and everyone's like, oh, it's just a few more hours. And I'm like, that's literally like 35% longer than you said it was. That doesn't matter.
Everyone's different, of course. Like, yeah.
So
everyone plays a game differently, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I know people who finished First Light in like 20 hours, and I don't understand that either. Because I did it in 13, 14, maybe 15. So I don't get what I looked at everything. I pretty much did everything you could do. So I don't get where they got that 5 extra hours. Which is the opposite, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it could be they could be bad at it and replaying it. Like that's why I'm such an important. That's why I'm. It's my OCD really, but like calibrating time in games is so important to me because I want to know how long I've played something.
Sure.
And so like if I always test, as I said before, I test games out to see like how they deal with time in the beginning, and I'll make like a new save if I don't like the way it's dealing. And I've said before, I've gotten rid of like 20-hour saves in games where I'm like, no, the time's wrong. I let the time run. I'm gonna try again. So I could see how long. Yeah. Final Fantasy VII, actually, I think I did that with Final Fantasy VII Remake when it came out. Where I'm like, oh, fuck, I let it run and I just started it again. So yeah, sorted out people who say how long games are.
All right. Lockmort, what about you?
I have a preemptive sort of out because it's not sure that it's going to happen yet, but I have a feeling it might because it's been happening for the past year and a half. Stalker 2. They promised they would have their update out. They have this big engine overhaul. And once the engine overhaul happens, they will finally implement their AI system that would make the game what it's supposed to be. But it's been a year and a half now, and the update still isn't here. They did announce new DLC, which they're releasing this summer, and I presume they'll show it at one of these showcases, at least I hope. But I want a date for this update, or I want them to just update it already. It's at 1.9 now, so we're almost at 2.0. But it's time. It's time to do it now. But I have a feeling they still won't do it. So if they do it, no sort it out for them. But if they do it, sort it out for them. Oh,
okay.
If they don't do it, yeah. So GSC Game World, yeah.
I'm going to, as you guys know, or you may know, I am the Grim Reaper of Xbox, according to Maddie and Cog. So I'm going to kind of echo Izzy Smalls here. Hey, Brad, sorry, let me do this correctly. Hey, Brad Dog, Colin Eastwood, and Lockmort Lily. A quick sorted out to Microsoft and their executives. Matt Booty was on the Xbox podcast and stated they would still show their competitors' logos when showcasing their games. This led to the Xbox fanbase crashing out online and Asha Sharma responding later the day with an apologetic statement about potentially reconsidering what Booty stated on the podcast. What the fuck are we doing, Microsoft? I don't know who's worse, the goofy-ass executives or the unhinged, delusional Xbox fanboys. In my O, Microsoft needs to rip the Band-Aid off and be transparent about their third-party future, or shut the fuck up because their executives have been tripping over themselves for years trying to appease their fan base while trying to make as much money as possible, and you can't do both. Thank you guys for all the great LSM content. Peace. It always feels like there's infighting at that company. I don't know what it is with their fan base. And it's just like, I don't know, man. You got to kind of just stick to your guns and stop apologizing all the time about something like that. Like, I get it. You got your fan base. You want to appease them. You want them to be happy. That makes total sense. But you're like, the people you're listening to and interacting with, I don't know if you really should be. Because some of it's kind of unhinged. And you guys need to just be upfront about what you're doing. I think a transparent would be good. If you don't want to show logos at your show, that's totally fine. I totally get why you don't want to. Sony wouldn't show an Xbox logo. Granted, I know Xbox is in a very different position. Of course, very different. But if you want to market it, your hardware or your ecosystem, I understand that. But I understand also why they want their logo on the logos on everything, because they want to show what everything's going to be on, because they want you to know, even if you're on a different system. But you just gotta stick with something. I feel like you can't just be changing your plans weekly, basically what's going on there. Yeah. You gotta lock in at some point.
Yeah, I totally don't. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's going on over there. How can you just shut up?
Damn.
Why is it so hard for them to stop talking? Stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking. You don't need to say anything. Like, what is with this brand? It's infuriating. Like, just stop. And if you're gonna say things, try to say the right things and be organized and stand behind what you're saying. How could you possibly be the CEO of a brand that just did a pre-recorded, pre-edited podcast to clearly message what they were going to do with their showcase to set expectations, and then you're like, yeah, I missed this one, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? This is your showcase. This is what I've said it ad nauseum. Their level of aggression is strange. It's always been strange. I don't know why they're showing other people's logos at like Nintendo and PlayStation would never do that. You don't have to do that. You should be. It doesn't change reality. That's what I think everyone's confused about. It's like none of these trappings change reality. Like, it is what it is. It's going to happen. Like, it's a third party company. I think they'll do some, like, little exclusive bones towards the audience here and there. Maybe Gears will be one of them. I don't know. I don't really care.
Yeah, like,
that's what
6 months later.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was saying this offline about Activision. Actually, you guys were like, I just don't care about this company. Like, there's just nothing for me here. Xbox has some cool stuff, but I'm like, just if you want to take your games back, just take them back. Just stop waffling. No one cares. You're not that important. Like, if you don't want to sell games on PlayStation and you don't want to sell games on Nintendo and all that, then just say so and do it and see how that goes. I can tell you how it's going to go, but it's just like, make a decision already. It's like, it's insane. Like, and shut up. Make a choice inside, go in a direction, just start doing what you're supposed to be doing and stop talking. And definitely stop listening to the people that you're listening to.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I think is most confusing. I will allow no revisionism, as everyone knows, none. And it's not happening. And there was no critical thought about any of it for years out of this fan base. And I'm not saying just the normal fan or the normal person. No, I'm saying like the thought leaders. They were all about the ABK deal. They were all about Game Pass. They were all about the Bethesda acquisition. They were all about all of it. They loved Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer somehow saved the brand, but then had to be fired. He wasn't fired, but left or retired or whatever in order for someone else to come in and save the brand. None of it makes any sense. It's constant apologetics. And I hate when people come to me and are like, well, if Sony did this and Sony did that with you, and I'm like, you're delusional. Because you obviously don't listen to the shows. You're delusional. Right. If Sony couldn't afford Activision, if they somehow leveraged and had a leverage buy to Activision, I would have had a fucking meltdown. I don't understand what they're doing. It's incredibly frustrating to me watching it from the outside, because I feel like there's no responsibility amongst the vocal tastemakers in that space, that they led everyone down the primrose path and now they're complaining.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have bought Activision. I'm going to be the first one to tell you that was a bad idea. The Bethesda deal would have been much more sensible if you coupled it with a few more smaller acquisitions. I've said it a million times, like go buy, I don't know who was for sale, go buy WB, Embracer Group, and I don't know, whatever. And then you have, it would be totally different. It created, and Game Pass was never going to work. Not with, I've said before, it was a cool idea. You have to know what you're doing in order to make that happen. And they don't know what they're doing. And they didn't make it happen. That's why and as I said at the Destin Legary earlier on Twitter, I'm like the raison d'etre, as it were, of the whole purchase was Call of Duty on Game Pass. That was the whole reason. And that failed. There was hundreds of millions of dollars in 1 year doing it, and they're like, we can't do this anymore. So what is going on? Like, just listen to someone else. Stop listening to these people that will cheer. They're not critical. They will not lend you a critical ear. Nothing will. It's a sieve. Everything will get by them, and they won't look and be like, "What are you doing?" And to act like we say that about Sony, it's like, no, man, no. I bust Sony's balls on a constant basis about a lot of things they do, and they've made awful decisions. So no, save that and miss me with that, as the kids might say.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell by them deleting their old tweets that it's a little bit. That's something I will never understand. Like the three people you just called us at the start are all three. Well, yeah, two of them definitely did that. They were all about getting rid of exclusives like a couple of months ago or a year ago. But now they deleted their old tweets, and now they're pretending that that's not a thing anymore, and exclusives are good, and they've always said that. That is just lying to your own fan.
Right. I couldn't imagine doing something like that, because there would be such a tweets. It's like there would be an incredible paper trail. Like I would never be able to. I like admitting when I'm wrong, because I think it's good to like clear the field. But it's also like you kind of got to do it, or someone's going to do it for you. Mm-hmm. And so if you're gonna say with the amount of bravado I say everything I say with like you say with my whole chest, it's like when you got it wrong, you got to accept that you got it wrong, and you got to say so. The deleting tweets thing is so crazy, because my audience would just never let me get away with that. And so we're also just dealing with a totally different group of people that have different expectations of the creators around them. And I want to say, and because this is an important part of a component of what you're saying, Locke, is it's not that they believed that Xbox should get rid of exclusives. That probably destroyed them inside, right? It's that they thought that was what they were supposed to say to keep it on the up and up.
Yeah.
For whatever reason that might be, because you're a homer, because you're a shill, because whatever it might be, you're a true believer. Like, that's the thing that's crazy, is like, you didn't actually believe it. See, like when I was saying, I've said it for years, I'm like, I don't know that PlayStation has a future in exclusives. I don't know that it makes a lot of sense. Now, internally, they disagree and they're going back towards exclusives, but I certainly said the opposite.
Right.
Where I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, it's kind of worth exploring and figuring it out. And they did those kinds of things. So I think they're looking at a mirror when they deal with me, a mirror image of themselves. And I'm like, you're mistaken. I'm sure there are mirror images of you over here, but not me. And I'll say, well, my keep it up. We'll get into keep it up in a minute. Was the people who just won't accept reality, because it's interesting to watch. It's a case study. I asked a prominent Xbox person behind the scenes recently. I'm like, why do you think Xbox fans do this to themselves? Like, what is going on with this? I feel bad. Like, it's not even, it's like, I almost feel bad about it. It's like, I understand it's hard to like lose the ecosystem and but like, it's not really going away. Your games will always be playable on some PC format that you bought and stuff. Like, they're trying their hardest to like keep you and all of the rest, but you're not getting to the acceptance phase because you keep wallowing in these other places, and it's going to be bad for you. Because this is happening. Like, there could be these anecdotal, like, oh, Gears is exclusive, we're going to do this and that. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, it is what it is. And I imagine when they realize the thing is that there's no one's going to buy this hardware this generation.
Yeah.
Like Xbox is, I was thinking about this, like, what do you think? Like Xbox is probably 95% through its sell rate for Xbox Series. In other words, like 19 out of 20 units have already been sold. It's like a kind of you just see it in their numbers. What does a number look like that's down 20%, 30%, 40%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 40%? Like, what does that number look like? It's got to be like an infinitesimal, you know?
Mm.
And so what people don't realize on that side is like, you can do all this exclusivity stuff and whatever, but it doesn't matter. And they're only going to hurt themselves. And the games that would most bend the arc are the games they would least want to fuck with. No one cares about Gears of War anymore compared to the way they used to. And it'll be a cool game to come out and stuff. Like, it's just, it's like the games you would need to do it with would be like Elder Scrolls 6, and that's never happening. That's a dream. That's delusional. Because it's just too expensive and it's too risky, and they've been doing this. If it was going to work, it would have worked already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think the problem is maybe that because PlayStation is like backing away from PC now? I can only speak for myself and my friends, of course, but I don't play on Xbox because I can play their games on PC. But if they did what PlayStation did and they kept their games only on Xbox and not on PC, I would play a shit ton on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have to because I have a PC. So why would I own an Xbox? So do you think if Xbox, not now, of course, but like a decade ago, decided to keep their exclusives on their console, like PlayStation, do you think that would have mattered?
Yeah, I think it started with Quantum Break, right? In 2016.
Yes. Yep.
And yeah, I think things would have been different. I don't know that it would have mattered because I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's like, it just doesn't seem like maybe it's just my outside perspective as more of a PlayStation person, but it's like, it's not really a very strong lineup of games, right? Like the games that were supposed to be like meteoric, like Starfield, ended up being, they did well, but they were kind of duds. And
look,
yeah, go ahead.
Look at Oblivion Remastered, because that did exceptionally well last year. Imagine if that was an Xbox exclusive, not on PC, just Xbox, no PlayStation. Then that would have sold like something.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I wonder though, and these are the unknowable things that you would have to like mine through data, and there still isn't really a way to know, is like people seem to be more resistant to exclusivity than ever simply because they are buried in their own ecosystem. So they understand and accept that there's a level of acceptance, I think, in the core gaming community. Should you only own one or two machines, it's like, I, by virtue of this, lose out on other things. It's always been that way. When I was an NES kid, I had a friend, only one, but a friend that had a Master System, and it was like another world. I was like, what the hell is this shit? And we played it, and we played Alex Kidd and Phantasy Star 1 and all these things, and, you know, Jet Harrier and all this. And I was like, this is cool. But like, I understood when I went home, it's like, well, I can't play that stuff. I don't have a Master System. And when I had an SNES and my friends had Genesis, it's like, well, we've always lived in that. People, in other words, people like I feel like people talk about this like it's new, and like there's always been the level of hardware sacrifice. Now,
yeah,
the only thing that's different now is that the hardware is way more expensive, and so and everything's digital, so you are buried in these spaces. And so I think you're right in that it wouldn't be Oblivion alone or Gears alone or whatever. It would have been a confluence of all those things that would have drawn people to that ecosystem. I think that would have been incredibly risky for them because the games are expensive. It's all about the games and the price of the games and spreading the field, and also training your own audience to not buy your own games. So even if Game Pass is fine, but Game Pass was more frustrating than anything to me, just because I was like, yeah, this is a cool idea. It's a nice idea. You got to do something. You didn't support it right. The pricing's not right. Obviously, you're way off your own internal metrics that you accidentally leaked, so we know exactly where you thought you were going to be. And it's collapsing in on itself. And you taught your audience to just look at every comment on every post on every Xbox thing. It's like, I'll play it on Game Pass. Get it on Game Pass. Get it on Game Pass. It's like, cool, man. I mean, that's great. But how do your studios feel when they don't get their ship bonuses anymore? Because there's no pre-orders. How do they feel when there's no milestones? And what's different for Bethesda putting Starfield on Game Pass as opposed to selling it a la carte? Probably something like 10 million units or more. And what does that mean to that studio and the financial health of that studio and the bonus structures? And there's like a lot of stuff that comes off of this thing that goes beyond the financial viability in and of itself of Game Pass. And so I just think they didn't have the talent to do it. And frankly, I don't know that Sony would have the talent or Nintendo had the talent to do a Game Pass like thing, because it would have required major risks. And so, but they jumped on the grenade and they figured it out. And that's why PlayStation Plus works a lot better, is because they simply don't ingest day one games from themselves. So they don't have to worry about that. And therefore it's all profit because they pay these nominal licensing fees. So I don't know. It's too bad, because I just think I keep saying, and people have a problem with it, but like, I don't see the win condition. I don't know how they win. And if you're not playing the win, I don't know why you're playing at all. In terms of the hardware space, it's a dog eat dog place, man. If you want to have some sort of niche device, good luck. It's going to be expensive. And I just don't know how they win. And I know that I'm on the right path because no one ever confronts any of my arguments. It's always that I'm a PlayStation fanboy or I'm this or that, but it's never about what I said. And it all comes down to the PC stuff with Helix, right? How are you going to do it? And like, what poison pill will you swallow? Because you have to swallow one of them. The pill of Steam or the pill of proprietary niche device? Which pill will you choose? The console pill is a nail. They can't do that. That's over. So yeah, we'll see what happens, man. But I don't know why people are doing this to themselves. And it's funny what you said about Xbox. Like, there is no reason to own an Xbox, in my opinion, as well. Because I was even thinking about it. People were asking. It's like when everything went down with PSN, and I said it on the last Sacred Symbols. If my account was still to this day, like, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if my account's gone and Sony doesn't refuse to help me, it's like, I'm never spending another penny on PlayStation.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So therefore, it's like I have to go somewhere, and it's like, well, the one place I know I'm not going is Xbox, right? And I'll just get a good PC and just go on Steam at that point.
Yeah, it was Steam Machine coming out.
Yeah. It's like that's just what I would have to do, and I maybe embrace Nintendo a little more or something like that. But it's like, I agree with you. It's not that Xbox isn't a non-starter. It's that it's just there's literally no reason to do that. That would just limit me, right? It's what I was saying, right? About everyone's like, what's the big deal about Xbox games coming over to PlayStation? It's well, it's blue plus green. On Green's machine, it's just green. I mean, it's easy to just visualize it in an illustration like that.
Why do you think they kept talking over the past few years? Wouldn't it just why couldn't they just be quiet?
I don't know.
Why
I don't know.
Because
no other part of Microsoft's like that. And I think they have this idea that maybe they have to be overly communicative. They do have a tight-knit community of people. I just you can't get honest feedback from them. These are the kinds of people that made sizzle reels for Redfall and put together, these image maps of all the people all the IP and all the protagonists of these games that Microsoft definitely didn't make, but purchased. And it's like, cool. That's fun. Very creative, very interesting. Just the lack, the FTC thing was really eye-opening to me. Not that it should have been illegal or whatever. I don't think that. It's just like, man, you guys don't know what you're doing. This is a big bite of the apple, dude. And it's cool. And I appreciate Phil Spencer being like, we're going all in. And I think that's why he had to go. I mean, I ultimately think whether he retired or just they didn't renew him or whatever, I think it's probably a very similar thing to what happened with Jim Ryan, where it's like, you got to go. Your contract's up and we're not renewing you. So we're going to let you go gracefully. Thank you for your service. You did a great job. But I think he had to go because I think he was like, your bet didn't work out. And that was why I was surprised that Matt Booty is not only there still, but talking. But that might be why Matt Booty is the person that might be the guy. It's like, you're now the lowest man on the totem pole in terms of like your power, your grasp on the situation is tenuous at this point. We're going to send you out for all the bad messaging. And it feels like that's what kind of happened. Right. And I don't know how you can be so disconnected internally to send your first party lead, like your first party president out and be like, we just want to be transparent about where games are. It doesn't really matter. Like and then the next day the CEO is like, oh, we can't do that. It's like, cool. You guys are definitely on the same page. Going good.
Yeah. That's weird, right? Like that. I always think that's weird. Like maybe that's like too conspiratorial, but I don't. There has to be a reason that they're doing all of that, right? It can't just be off the cuff, just mistake after mistake. Like, is there a way that they're doing it on purpose? Like, is there? Of course, that's not true, I guess. But
well, I mean, you could make the argument that like they want to get rid of this brand ultimately, and that like, but it doesn't seem like that. It seems like Asha was earnestly hired to like try to fix and solve things. I would have preferred for her to be like, listen, I need like 6 months to like I'm going to visit all the studios. We're going to get everything in order. I'm going to understand what we're doing with Helix. I need time to like get my mind around this. This generation is a wash, and nothing is going to change for us. You know, like we cannot win with our current structure. And people are like, well, who cares if you win or lose? It's like, I guarantee you Nintendo and Sony are playing to win.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Sure.
And I can also tell you, like, there's no doubt that people internally in PR and marketing at Sony and PR or at Sony and Nintendo look at this and they're like, I can tell you what we're not going to do, which is fucking this.
Yeah. And
they're just quiet as a fucking field mouse. And that's what you got until it's time to say something. They tied them there. I can't believe they're doing this again. That's the thing that getting rid of Phil Spencer allowed them to unwind themselves from the pretzel that they've made of like, but you said this and you did this and you said this, but you did this and this happened and this. And it's like, all right, cool. He's gone now. But now like you're just saying a lot of new things and they're going to hold you to it again. And you're doing it a lot earlier with a lot. She doesn't understand video games like Phil Spencer did. She's learning. It doesn't mean she can't understand the space. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. I just don't understand what they're going to do. Like, I don't understand how, again, they will have to swallow a poison pill. And it's a matter of when and what it is. But they're going to have to ultimately, and I just feel like honesty is the best policy with their audience. Like, just, we're sorry, give us time. Or you could just be straight up and say, like, we are a third party publisher and we will always have a hardware option for you and a way for you to play your old games and buy games from us. But we are going to be selling our games everywhere. And that's just the way it is. And we're sorry if that hurts you, but like, we're not abandoning you.
Right.
We promise you for years to come, your games will be available on Helix and all the rest. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Guess we'll see. Ninja DC wrote and said, a combo sorted out and keep it up. I took out the keep it up. Let's see. Sort out Yacht Club games from messaging or messing up the Kickstarter codes for Mina. Thousands of Kickstarter backers were left out in the cold on launch day as NA PSN codes and Japanese Switch codes were not delivered. I don't care if it was a glitch. Your month one backers deserve to be treated better. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I saw that and that does suck. I had never thought about it before. Like, I don't know how code allocation works for Kickstarters on console. And what I assume is that you have to buy the codes gross, probably. I was wondering. All right, so the game is $20. So Sony's cut would be $7. So I wonder if they just buy the codes for $7 each. Right?
Yeah.
And then so Sony loses nothing. Then they get the code because some people were saying, Mike was saying, it was like, oh, maybe they just ran out of codes with like, because they really did have a large allocation of people for the review. And I'm like, I don't think those are the same codes. I think you have to order these codes. And I never really thought about it, which is weird because I usually think about everything. And because on PC, it's much more straightforward. You can we learned recently that I didn't know this, that like Steam allows you to sell codes to Steam versions of the games and they get nothing, which is fucking weird. And there's no way Sony would do that. So you kind of have to forgive them for it, where it's like, it's a glitch. But at the same time, Yacht Club is big enough, especially with Nintendo, where it's like, you think they would fix that for them quick. It's like, all they have to do is produce the codes. I can't imagine it's that difficult to do. So it's too bad that happened. But yeah, it's a shame, especially after waiting all this time. It's a bummer too, because I was sad originally that I didn't support Mina on Kickstarter. And then I'm like, I'll just buy it. And it ended up working. So
yeah, it's fun. All right, boys, keep it up. Stuff we're pleased with in gaming. Anything for you guys this week?
I already said mine, so I'm good.
Yeah, that's right.
Very easy. CD Project Red with their new Witcher DLC. Awesome. Songs of the Past. Can't wait.
Okay, very nice. My keep it ups for Yacht Club. Well done, Mina. It's finally out. I love it so far. Another great game, seemingly, from you guys. So congratulations. Looking forward to playing through it. Jeff and Nola wrote and said, "Hi, Summon Crew. Debating a sorted out for Square Enix for how they're handling Dragon Quest, but opting for a positive with Keep It Up for the Last Day Media in general. In February 2025, I was diagnosed with stage 4 colorectal cancer.
Colorectal.
Colorectal cancer, similar to what Gene has at 44. Last night has been a tremendous part of my journey as punching up dropped on my chemo, immuno/days. Can't tell you guys how many days I was laughing at in the chemo ward at whatever weekly batshit thing Micah was saying and Brad reacting. I can't imagine what it was like living with her like Colin. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's great.
The amount of times I told her I'm going to strangle you through this monitor.
Yeah, she's fucking crazy.
Stunning. Yeah. These pods have been a tremendous escape, and my response to treatment has been great so far. Currently at MD Anderson, starting a trial to hopefully help further, and listening to Sacred for the week as I type coincidentally the Dragon Quest segment. Thanks for all you do. It means more to me, means more to me than you will ever know. Keep it up, Jeff. P.S. Also, Colin, please forgive any typos. Typing on the Patreon app is dreadful at times.
Yeah, whatever excuse you need, that's fine. Jeff, glad you're doing better. I'm so pleased. There seems to be a greater push in the American consciousness to participate in medical trials, and I'm glad that people are doing this because we have a pretty hardened system, which is good with the FDA and everything else, and they're very reliable. But it's cool that people should be able to explore things that the government doesn't approve if it might help them. It's your life, and it's good that you're doing that. So I'm wishing you the very best. I'm glad that you're hanging in there.
Colin, he brought up Dragon Quest. You and me are big Dragon Quest fans. Probably the biggest at the company that I'm aware of.
Definitely.
Anyways, we saw some of the game finally. 12. It has a new name. I forgot what it's called now. Something like Dreams.
Beyond Dreams or something.
Beyond Dreams. Yeah, some shit like that. We saw a couple of the characters. All I know is that you thought the main character looks retarded.
Yeah, he does.
A quote.
I understand what they're going for. He kind of looks a little bit like the dude from the Queen biopic, Mr. Robot guy.
Oh,
the guy from Until Dawn.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But he looks like a really tired fetal alcohol syndrome version of Rami Malek, and but I understand. Micah brought it up actually, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, he looks overtly fucking tired. I always look tired too, so I'm not like making fun of him too much, but he looks overtly tired. And I'm like, yeah, that's because he's like dreaming. And then it seems like he becomes that monster character or whatever. So it's cool. Like, I don't know what's going on at Square Enix. I think that deserves like a really deep analysis because I feel like they are so poorly run, and they have so much. And they could be doing so much, and they seem so disorganized, like they can't make games. You know, like that's what makes Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and a remake and whatever the fucking new one, Revolution or whatever the hell they're going to call it, is Return. They're so, and Final Fantasy 16 and 14, like everything seems fine with Final Fantasy, in my opinion. Good, actually, great. But everything else seems kind of weird. Like they have these cool games like The Adventures of Elliot, and they're doing the cool Dragon Quest remakes and stuff, but why are you struggling so much with your marquee titles? And how could you drop the ball so bad with Dragon Quest? I understand things got complicated with people's deaths and a lot of things shuffling behind the scenes, but in hindsight, it's like maybe the dark Dragon Quest idea just doesn't make any sense. And I feel like that's probably what the studio discovered. Yeah. And they say that. They basically say, Yuji Horii basically says that. And that's why
they development.
Right. And that the game is much airier and brighter and more colorful. It's like, that's kind of Dragon Quest. I keep saying it over and over again, but you don't need to reinvent the wheel here. Like, I think you're overthinking this. And I feel like you've been overthinking Dragon Quest for a long time. Like, it doesn't, you get Dragon Quest 1 in 86, and then 2 in 87, 3 in 88, 4 in 90, 5 92, 6 95, 7 in 2000. So at that point, they're starting to take time. Then I think it's another 5 years for 8.
8, yeah.
Then it's another 5 year. 9, you might remember 9 was really, they struggled with that, making that game. Yep. Then they struggled with 10. And one of the big things with that was they were saying was like, well, we made a 3DS game and now we're making like a Wii game, so we can't really use old, like we have to do everything again. And obviously it's an MMO. And then from there it's like another 5 or 6 years to 11. And now we're 9 years from 11. It's like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Guys, I don't know what you're, it's a similar thing I feel like with Tales. It's like you are overthinking this. I want them to be great. I don't want slop, but it shouldn't take this long to make a Tales game. It shouldn't take this long to make a Dragon Quest game. It's Dragon Quest. For Christ's sake. Like you have all of it on a silver platter. Everyone knows what it is. It's not as hard as making a Final Fantasy game. That's why it's so interesting that they're getting Final Fantasy games out, although not always successfully. 7 had to be had 15 obviously had to be restarted, but 16 was awesome. And 14's doing great. So it's like, why are you, and I'm not the only one that feels this way. I bring this guy up often, but it's that there's that investor that owns like 10% of the company that releases reports every so often about how bad the company is. You know what I'm talking about? And he's like, he owns like 10% of the company or something. He's like, it's just so badly run. And it does seem to be that way. They're just, and I think they get away with it because they make games in Japan. And again, it's just cheap. And then it's what saved Capcom, I think, back in the day too. And then they get to sell games on a global market.
Yeah, Square Enix is like super inconsistent. It seems like Team Atsuno, like you're saying, like the Octopath, they have Entrances to Elliot coming out, cooking. They're releasing games very frequently.
It's what they wanted Tokyo RPG Factory to be, I think.
Yeah, it's exactly what they wanted RPG Factory to be. Oh man, I miss them. I liked them a lot.
I liked Setsuna, but the other stuff I could do without. Setsuna was exceptional.
Setsuna was the best one, but the other two were underrated, in my opinion. They're cool games. But Final Fantasy VII, coming out of the gate fast, it's seeming like Hamaguchi won't stop talking about the game. It's not even announced yet. So seemingly they're on a good path with that. Mainline Final Fantasy, I have no idea what's going on with 17 or when that's going to be coming out. Kingdom Hearts.
Can you imagine?
I don't know.
Can you imagine Square Enix working with Disney? It almost seems unthinkable. Like, I know it's been happening now since the Squaresoft days, but it's like, that must be some fucking relationship, man. The amount of like bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably crazy. I couldn't even imagine.
Crazy.
The buttoned up Japanese role playing game studio dealing with Disney. Oh, it's fucking great.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Great.
It's crazy, but I love you, Square.
I do too. I want better for you. Like they should be in a Capcom like position, and they're not. In fact, I don't. Nothing's going to happen to them where they're going to go away. But it's like, yeah, eat a little bit of your medicine. The PlayStation fan base was the reason you had anything for the last few years, and then you fucking snubbed your nose at them. Mm-hmm. And now you're like, well, we want to be multi. How's that working? Good.
Yeah.
What did they sell? 22,000 copies of Final Fantasy 16 in the first week. It's like, oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throw us away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see. I would like to know Switch 2 numbers for their games, because they'll be big in Japan at least. Mm-hmm. As we know, Nintendo dominates Japan. But I'm curious. Like, of course, it's going to help a lot. I wonder how much it's helping though. I'm just curious. So I think they'll at least keep supporting Nintendo, seemingly, for a while. They should just be third party, probably like Capcom, because it worked out well for them.
No, yeah, I don't mind it from a partisan point of view. I just think they didn't realize that they actually had it pretty good, and that their games were selling actually quite appreciably, and they just couldn't help themselves. Mm-hmm. It's like, shut the fuck up. And I think that guy that writes those reports was saying that as much as like, these are your people.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know like how well you actually did, but whatever, man. They'll have to deal with it. I'm very curious to see 17, and I assume they probably have an idea and they're probably doing it. But
yeah, I'm sure they've been working on it.
But I love Final Fantasy, and I think that it's getting better. That like 15 left such a bad taste in my mouth personally that like the 7 remake was so. I was like, this is so good. I'm like, why is this so good? And Rebirth was arguably even better. So, and then 16 was exceptional. I want to do a thing actually at some point where we go into the games where we're like, the criticism of these games, like pick a game or two where you'll like stand up for it and die on the hill of like, you're wrong about this game. And at 16 is going to be that is one of those games for me where I'm like, you're just wrong. You're just wrong. Like it's just straight up, you don't understand Final Fantasy in my opinion. If you don't see what this game is, I feel like you're a Final Fantasy noob or a transient poser. and you don't understand the constant changing and shifting of the game and how much of an ode to 4 it was, especially it's got 4 all over it.
Yeah, it does.
Didn't people love that game? I thought that was like a beloved
16.
Yeah,
no, I think the revision on that game is I've always loved it, but I think people have always. I mean, Brad, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like people have always been quite critical of it.
It was like very split. I feel like in terms of like internet opinions. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, who knows like what the mean fan that bought it feels like. But yeah, the characterization of the game, as I would put it, is it's a button mashy action RPG with like that plays itself in a lot of ways. And I'm like, I don't think you understand. Maybe we played different games. I don't know. But the boss fights especially were like some of the most captivating things I'd ever played in a video game, in my opinion, where I was like, this is incredible.
Spectacles. Yeah, definitely.
So I can't wait to, and I would love for them to do something mega traditional next. I think that would be cool. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm super down. Yeah.
That's what it would be like. Yeah. Do some active time battle, like turn-based Expedition 33 style thing. That'd be dope. Keep changing.
Yeah. Dan XL wrote and said, hello, gentlemen. I want to give a keep it up to Colin for allowing our beautiful bald Euro janker to really spread his wings over the last few weeks. I've always wanted more Lockmort content, and lately Ellison has been delivering. Lock, I hope you're well and air conditioned. Wow, air conditioning's been brought up a lot with you.
Well, because he's European.
Yeah, I know.
It's May. It's time for the European air conditioning dialogue to happen.
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah, that's a yearly occurrence.
Yeah. I know it's hard living in the remnants of medieval Europe. Cheers.
He's going to be living in the remnants of a different medieval Europe soon enough. The air conditioning thing doesn't compute with me at all. I understand that electricity is like on average, I think 3 times more expensive in Europe than it is in the United States.
Right now, it's insane. Yeah.
And I feel like Europe, I mean, I understand and appreciate you can't in good conscience buy Russian oil right now and all the rest. It's complicated. I get it. But for God's sake, man, just go get like a fucking $100, €100, not you, but so it's like put it in your window, an air conditioner, go to your version of Home Depot. Maybe it's literally called Home Depot because Depot is a French word. And then
Depot,
yeah. and then and go buy and put, for God's sake, like enough already. It's enough already.
You gotta understand that up until a couple of years ago, our summers would last 2 to 3 weeks at the most. And the rest of the year we had spring, we had the fall, and up until a decade ago, we had winter. We don't really have winters anymore. But now our summers are like 2 months, but they didn't used to be that long. So air conditioning didn't really exist. Also, our houses are like made out of bricks, so they're isolated, and if you go in the basement, it's actually cold and stuff. So our temperature and our houses and are not like you guys. Like if I lived where you would live, Colin, I would die. I would literally die. I wouldn't be able to breathe. I would die.
It's so humid. It's so
fucking
humid here.
I would literally die. But we don't have that here. Our climate is very comparable to New York, I want to say, to what they have over there. So yeah, it gets hot in the summer and it's very annoying, but it's annoying for like 2 to 3 weeks at the most.
Well, I think what you're saying is important because I think a lot of North Americans don't know this, is it feels like we're on the same latitude as Europe, but we're not. Like where I live, we are like, I think if you grafted us over, we're like where Israel is, I think. So like, that's how much further south I am than you. Right. And then if you go even further south, like to Florida, you're like in like Algiers or something, and, or like even deeper into Africa, like Kenya and shit like that. So it's like, or not Africa, I guess it would be the Mediterranean into like North Africa.
Yeah. Like Egypt.
Right. And it's like, that's hot as fucking ball. That's the desert. So of course it's going to be hot here. I think we just think it's different. And it's funny. I did a recent episode with a guy, Michael Kemp he's an Uncharted YouTuber, and we did a really great video, he and I, on Sacred Symbols Plus. And I was recording with him. He's in Scotland, and we were recording, and it was like bright, like the entire time we were recording at night, and it was like 9 or 9:30 at night. And then we forget that like they're really high up to the point where like you're getting, we have different times of, like our days shift like 4 or 5 hours, but up there it shifts like 12 hours, like as if you're in Alaska, so I think we just lose sight of that. I think that's like what it all is. We just feel like we're just like across from each other. And of course the climates are going to be different based on the jet streams and all the rest as well. And so I understand that completely. And we live in like very newer designed, like paper mache houses, basically. So That's by design because it keeps things, I think, airier. They're cheaper to make or whatever, and all the rest. But so I just like that the dialogue has to begin at this time every year. And yeah, climate change is making it more extreme. I mean, it's making the summers more extreme here. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I'm old enough to know that summer is not the same as it used to be.
No, yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah, winters too.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, I agree with you. Like everything's different. Like I'm not. It's not a thing I read in a book. It's like I'm 41, and in the 90s it wasn't like this. Like, hate to tell you. So
we don't have winters here anymore. It just doesn't. And every time I say this, people get mad at me. Oh, we do get winters. It doesn't snow as much as it used to do here. I'm sure of it because I remember when I used to take the bus to school. There were whole weeks where I couldn't take the bus because there was too much snow. Well, I don't go to school anymore, of course, so I can't really tell.
You got to go see. You got to keep.
You got to take the same route.
But I know there's not as much snow as there used to be. And I know I'm not as cold as I used to be in the winter. Like it used to be minus whatever. Well, in the summer, it takes so much the heat is so much more, like you said, it's so much more humid too. And there's it happened this week. Like we had like a small little heat wave here, but then immediately after 4 days, yesterday morning, I woke up at like 6 a.m. because there was this huge thunderstorm here because our weather just can't compute. Like it doesn't understand what's happening. It can't do the heat wave of like 4 to 5 weeks of heat. That doesn't really happen anymore. It always gets broken up after a couple of days or a couple of days.
It's something's manifestly happening. To what end? And I think it's obviously not mostly, but much of it is man-made. There's no doubt in my mind about that. I think there are also a lot of things we don't understand about the cycles of the Earth. The Earth is actually extremely cold right now. Comparable to what there was times where there was not one fleck of ice anywhere on the planet. And there were times where there was ice all the way down to the equator. I keep that in mind too. I also just don't know that it really matters because I think it's happening. The technology that is causing it will also solve it. That like out of all the major issues, like the black swan kind of shit that happened, that people, it's like fucking crazy nuclear attack. And like the thing I worry about least is climate change. Cause I'm like, I feel like we can fix it. Like I in fact, there are already a bunch of ideas if you read about it, like on like what they think you should do and all the rest. And I'm like, well, we'll be fine. And the earth is getting greener and it's good for crops, by the way. So there is some, like with the increased CO2, the plants are happier.
Remember when we were kids and they were scaring us because of the hole in the ozone layer?
Yeah, and they fixed it.
Yeah,
that was like exactly. That was a big thing when we were kids, right? That was I used to be terrified of that.
Yeah,
I thought the sun
was
aerosols.
Kill us. And what's interesting is I saw something funny where someone was like, it was like a mom, why don't people wear their hair like you did when you were a kid anymore? It's like because we wanted to have an ozone layer. Because the shit people used to spray in the 70s and the 60s and all the rest, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. So that's a great example of like we could do things. But I feel bad for like Europe being like, oh, the CO2, like we can't have air conditioning. I'm like, oh my God, guys, just get over it. Like I appreciate it. Yeah. I try to negate my own CO2. I've said that before. I try to be carbon neutral. I have solar panels on my house. I try to do all these kinds of things, but China doesn't give a shit and India doesn't give a shit. So as long as they're doing whatever they do, just live your life, man. Like seriously, do things for yourself and for your community. That's awesome. I appreciate that. But don't live a life of complete discomfort because you feel like you're going to kill the earth. As I said recently, I'll never forget this. Taylor Swift once flew from LAX to Santa Monica Airport.
True.
What?
Yeah. To skip the traffic. So
that's crazy.
That's literally like 10 miles, maybe. And doing that created more CO2 than you'll create probably in your entire life. So don't worry about that.
Damn. All right, guys, time for a game recommendation from the audience. Nevitz wrote in and said, I have a game recommendation. On a whim, I bought an indie game called Tori 2. It is a low poly 3D platformer on Steam and Switch. It is a basic platformer with your only movement options being a double jump and running. The stages are designed like a mixture of Sonic Adventure and Sonic.
You're used to reading that recently.
Yeah, boost levels. Each stage has a ranking, and the S ranks are difficult to obtain and extremely fun to earn. Tori 2 is also extremely cheap at 99 cents. In one weekend, I played all of the Tori games except the newest one, Tori Saturn. It's one of the most fun games that I've played this year, and it's a real gem. Please look into it. Dude, $1? Easy to look into that.
Yeah, that's cool. I am getting increasingly concerned about what it says about PlayStation that games are starting to skip it. Not big games, but like small indie games, diminishing returns, perhaps easier to get games on Switch. It's just surprising to me that you would bring a game to Switch and Steam, but stop. Yeah, I think that's might unfortunately say something about the PlayStation audience's propensity to buy these games.
Yeah, maybe.
It's overwhelmingly positive, so it must be good. It looks like a retarded 5-year-old drew it though, but it looks cool, I guess. Like very
the character from Dragon Quest XII, that he drew it.
He drew it exactly.
Yeah, but if something gets like overwhelmingly positive on Steam, you know it's good. So yeah.
All right, let's be friends. Setsuna Yuki is the number one idol wrote in. Hey, Warriors of Light, let's be friends on Final Fantasy XIV and come hang out with the Warriors of Darkness. We are a casual FC, that's basically this game's version of guilds, looking for new and veteran players to have fun and enjoy. So head over to the Primal Lamia server and visit us at our estate, Imperium, 8th Ward, Plot 12, and who knows, your next friend might just be waiting
there.
Nerd alert, big nerd alert. We're going to get into more nerd alert stuff in a second. But yeah, if you're looking for people to play 14 with, there you go. I think we got to write in about this. I'll get to it later. Anyways, Lockmort leads us to our next game. Final Fantasy 14. I've been playing.
Oh, I thought you were saying Lockmort was playing, and I'm like, what?
Lockmort, you've been playing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Holy moly.
Now, I've talked about this game several times, so I want to focus on you, though, for this conversation. Mostly, your experience.
I don't have a whole lot to say about it.
I know, but it's like you have a newcomer's perspective. You know, I've been playing this game for over 10 years.
Sure. Well, let's set the stage, because I've only started playing it because of you, because you kept bugging me about it for years. Because I was in that MMO. I love MMOs, or I used to love MMOs, really. So I was getting really big into WoW Classic again, like a couple of months ago. I want to say last month or 2 months ago. But then you convinced our buddy Justin to start playing Final Fantasy XIV. So I figured, okay, well, screw it then. I'll give it another shot, because I played it for like 15 hours a decade ago, I want to say. And it was okay. But I figured, okay, I'll just try it again. So I wanted to reactivate my account, which was impossible. Because Final Fantasy XIV, it links your Steam account, but if you didn't buy it on Steam, it links your Windows account, and you can't activate it on Steam. And apparently, at some point, I bought the DLC on Steam, which I then couldn't activate on my account. So it was all fucked up. I don't know what happened there. But I just, one morning I woke up a couple of weeks ago, and I somehow figured it out, and I didn't link them together, but I could at least buy a time card so I could play the game again. So I did. I started again. I started as what did I start again? I think Archer. No.
Yeah, you played as Archer first. Then you were an Ulda. You were a Thaumaturge, which is basically I started in the Black
desert.
Mage before Black Mage.
Yes. I started in the desert as like the magic character, and I wasn't really feeling it. But I knew that was because of the setting. Like, I wasn't really feeling the setting. I wasn't really feeling the characters. Also, we were mostly on Discord calls when I was playing it, so I wasn't really paying attention. So I figured, okay, well, I did Brad a favor. I won't have to play this anymore. Good job. But then a week later, I figured, well, I paid a lot of money. I paid some money to play this for 60 days, so I might as well just give it one more go. I'll just jump in one more time. So I made a new character on my own while we weren't on a Discord call on the, what is that city called? Limunza?
Gridania.
Whatever.
Oh, Limsa Lominza.
That's it. It's easy.
Limsa Lominza.
Exactly. So that was like the pirate city, right? So I made a new character there, a warrior character. And for some reason, I still don't understand why, I woke up in a good mood, I guess, because suddenly it clicked for me. I like the story, I like the characters, but I mostly like the combat. And I like the combat because it's stupidly easy. It's like WoW combat again. You just click, you wait, like a little radio, you click again, okay, boom. If you're tired, and if you're like, I didn't sleep that night and I woke up the next morning, and I played it all weekend because I had such a great time, because it's so Once you get in the zone of MMOs, Colin, have you ever played an MMO? Like any?
Not with, and not very extensively. Like I messed around a little bit with like WoW when I was in college, like on a friend's computer, and like a little EverQuest and stuff like that, but nothing modern. And I don't. I lived with MMO nerds, so I understand them a little bit better, and they were great. A little bit insufferable.
What was the guy's name? Gay
James.
Was his name? Gay James.
Yeah, Gay James was a big EverQuest guy, and I was going to say was they were so into it that he had like a literal phone line where they would conference call each other every night, and
nice, cool,
like in his guild or whatever, and that was 25 years ago or whatever. So not quite 25, maybe.
Shout out, dude. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Well, I used to love MMOs like Dark Age of Camelot. I played so much of that. EverQuest, WoW, Guild Wars. I used to love all of them. And that genre basically doesn't exist anymore. We just now have WoW, the Old Republic in some regard, I guess, even though that's mostly single player, and Final Fantasy XIV. And once you get in that zone, which I finally got to with Final Fantasy XIV, it becomes so addicting. Because it's like you always say, like your checklist games, like your Ubisoft checklist games. It basically becomes that. Like, get me 10 of this. Like, okay, I'll go out and get you 10 of that. And then you go back and then check. And then next one, give me 10 of this. Okay, I'll go get 10 of that. What Final Fantasy XIV does really well, and I didn't expect that, is that after level 20, once I reached level 20, I didn't even realize I was playing it for that long. I was playing it the entire weekend. At the end of my session at level 20, there was this cutscene, which was basically a whole Star Wars situation that unfolded in front of me. Beautiful cutscene. Suddenly, there was this evil empire, and there were characters that actually mattered. And I got invested into the story. And people kept telling me, like, oh, you're still in the bad part of the story. Wait until it gets good. So ever since then, I've been kind of hooked on it. And I'm kind of gradually leveling up in it and having a great time, honestly. And I'm still in the bad part. So I can't wait what the good part looks like. It's not WoW, of course. I'm more like a Western fantasy guy. Everybody knows it. Like, I'm not an anime guy, but I think the art style is fun. The music is great. The combat is the same as in WoW, so I can't really critique that. I think they did a great job. We haven't really played together yet. We did like
briefly.
One dungeon.
We did
together.
one dungeon together. Yeah.
Maybe it's just me, right? But I feel like the older I get, the less I'm enticed to play with other people. Like I like being on a call with you guys when we play, but I'm not looking for like, let's raid for the entire evening or let's play marathon for 20 hours. I'm like, no, just let me do my thing and you guys do your thing. And I think this game is perfect for that because you can pretty much solo it, right?
Yeah. You'll have to play with some players at moments, but you can play a lot of it solo.
Sure. So I'm sorry I don't have anything in depth prepared about this game because I can't really speak to it, but I really like it, which is something I wasn't expecting, especially not me because I loathe anime. The amount of times I've tried to play anime games and it just every time like the plunky piano music, like the same tropes. I know you guys. I don't no disrespect. I know you guys love them, of course. But they're just not for me. But this one's somehow it clicked, and that cutscene really. If that is the worst cutscene that the game has to offer, I can't wait because that was already great. I thought that was fantastic. So yeah, I'm kind of hooked. Our friend Justin finished the story already. He's like level 40, 50, I guess. Right now. So I'm only level, I want to say 25, going to 30 now. So over the next few weeks, I'm done with James Bond. I'm done with Lego Batman. I've done all the games except for The Witcher, which I will play gradually over the next couple of months. I think this week, for instance, will be a week where I'll play it a lot. And I can't wait. I'm having a great time. Great game. I can't wait to see what else it has to offer. Yeah. Which you will know, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, Lockmort is at the beginning of the game. I am in the current expansions, content, and all that kind of stuff. Just for anyone, I did the base story for Dawn Trail when it came out, so I was caught up then, but there's patches that came out since I haven't played all of those. I've been slowly going through the patch content, and I've been doing the Alliance raid, which is themed after Final Fantasy XI, which I love Final Fantasy XI. I am such a big fan of that game. I fucking love it. So this has been a really fun experience for me, seeing them incorporate elements from that game into this, like the town of Juneau is a part you go to in this game, and it being remade in the 14 engine has been awesome. Seeing characters from 11 as bosses has been really fucking sick for me. And I still have one raid to go. I need to get some higher level gear before I'm able to do it. But I've been really enjoying that stuff. The story that I'm currently doing, the main quest, is kind of picking up more. Seeming like Dawn Trail, the current expansion, I thought the story was like not super interesting, kind of a step down. But it's slowly, I think, starting to build back up. And it's seemingly going to start building into the next expansion coming out, Evercold, which is in January, they said. So I have plenty of time to keep up or catch up, but I'm enjoying it a lot. If you're curious about the game, also, there's a free trial that goes through like 4 expansions. So you can play all of it for free. There's no time limit on it. So if you're curious about the game, you can try it and get a really good chunk of the game, like a lot of the game. So that's there as well. But yeah, man, I'm digging it. It's very annoying to play this game though, because it cuts into time of all my other games that I should be playing. So I've been balancing all of those. Like I haven't even finished Seros yet, and I've been slowly chipping away at that game. But I kind of agree with Colin with Seros. It's not grabbing me as much as Returnal did.
No, me neither. Yeah.
Why is that? All my friends say the same thing. I haven't played it. But
I think the gameplay is super good in Seros. I think it's really well done. I don't know, just something about it, like its narrative and its environments, maybe, and how everything is presented and delivered, hasn't. Maybe it's just because it's like basically like Returnal 2 or something like that. How it's not as fresh. Maybe I'm not sure exactly what it is. I won't know until I finish the game all the way, though.
Yeah, I think it's a great game. I just think it's it's a reaction.
It is a great game.
It's a reaction to Returnal, and I think that as I described it, I'm like, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, maybe be careful what you ask for, because
sure.
I think a lot of the mystique of Returnal is gone now, and on this game. So that's we'll save it for the Saros conversation we do.
Empty Zero wrote and said, "Hey gang, Brad, this podcast is responsible for getting me sucked into Final Fantasy XIV. 3 weeks later, I'm now through Heaven's Ward, and it really does get good after A Realm Reborn. Don't worry, I'm steering clear of all the nightclubs that Dustin frequents." Yeah, I've never been to a nightclub in this game either.
That's like where all the role playing goes on, right?
Yes, yeah. There's ERP up the ass in this game. That's for sure. I mean, I guess most MMOs have that. WoW is no different. So, LSM Free Company win. Colin, you can give Locke a raise to manage it. Just let me know the data center so I can transfer. I am not opposed to making an LSM Free Company, which is a guild basically. But if we do it, I want to make sure we have enough people to make it worthwhile. Like I would need like 10 people or something like that and I don't know how big this game is with LSM. I assume it's not very big with most of the community.
Yeah, people should reach out if they want to do that. I mean, it's not my wheelhouse, but that's
maybe when Evercold comes up, we'll figure all that kind of stuff up so we can have a clean start for that expansion when that comes up. But maybe, as we get closer to that, I'll maybe like post a thread or something, or on Discord or something like that, letting you guys know if we want to do it, who'd be interested. Because I'm not opposed to it. All right, final game here. Colin, Pragmata, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's Pragmata. I don't care what they say.
I say Pragmata as well. Yeah. I haven't finished this yet, by the way. I'm in the 3rd biome. I haven't picked it up in a while. I really liked the game, though, when I played it. I think it was really well done.
It's exceptional. I think it's an exceptional game. It's unique and novel, and there's nothing like it. And it's got trappings that are familiar. Like it reminds me a little bit of Vanquish sometimes. And just aesthetically, sure. Not in terms of gameplay. Vanquish's gameplay shooting gameplay is way better. But I find it charming, and I find it self-contained, and I find that it has, Capcom especially, a lot of companies do it, but I think Capcom's really good at making their games replayable. I was thinking of the Resident Evil games, obviously, but I was also recently thinking when I platinumed Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster and I platinumed Kunitsugami, they do a really nice job of out of the box, instead of doing the Sony style, like we'll give you a new game plus later as like an update and we'll do this, that, and the other thing. They just give you a reason, and it goes back to the early Resident Evil games of just kind of staying within a game and exploring it more. And I think that there is a self-contained smaller game of Pragmata within, and then there's like quite a surprising amount of things to do actually in the game. For a game that is generally linear with like a hub world that you go off of and this tram system, which reminds me a little bit of Dead Space in its own way. There's a lot to like about Pragmata and almost nothing not to like. I think this, a lunar setting is dope. It's all about this company called Delphi, I think, that discovers that the moon has this particular mineral called lunafilament, and it's really useful. The story's kind of neat, actually. It's useful in 3D printing. So they're able to 3D print anything basically with this lunafilament in this very almost supernatural, insane way. Like they can, and they use it to create this thing called the cradle on the moon, where they are mining more lunafilament, and the cradle is attached to this. And it's cool. I won't spoil it, but I love space elevators. I don't know if you guys know what a space elevator is. It's like a tether basically, or like a small tower that will go all the way up into Earth's atmosphere. And the idea is that you can bring things into low Earth orbit really easily and then construct things there, so that the entire idea is like much of the expense of like rocketry is not necessary for interplanetary travel. It's necessary to get off of planets. Right. So if you can like get rid of all of that by getting it. So it's this idea that's floated around since like von Braun in like the 40s and 50s. And so it's cool to see all of this. And basically it's run by this AI, and the AI goes rogue and no one really knows what happened. So they send like this group of humans to the Earth, to the moon. You're one of them, Hugh. And you ultimately meet these Pragmata, these robots that are a little like, well, I won't get too deep into it. The one you meet is a little girl, and but she's not a real little girl. And it's about their relationship, like a father-daughter kind of thing develops, and it becomes very, it's cute and endearing from that perspective. It's not anything so deep. It's just it's a nice little way to tether you forward into the game. And the star of the show is the combat. I just think the combat is so interesting. The interplay between gunplay and hacking the robots. So all the rogue AI, there's all the different varieties of them. They are almost, the lunafilament's really powerful, and they have like this armor over them, and you can do damage to them, but you don't really do very much damage to them. You need to hack them to like open them up and make them, and to expose them to damage. So you're using like the different, like you're aiming and hitting R2, and then like this hacking screen comes up and time slows down, and you have to do this like puzzle that's all based on the face buttons, and you use them as directional buttons. And you're basically trying to find your way around the grid. So triangle's up, X is down, square is left, circle is right. And you're trying to like go around, and there's little things. They could be like bad or good in the hacking structure. So you're like trying to get to them. And it's like, oh, this will increase damage by 10%. This one will lock him up so he can't attack for 5 seconds. This one, and you're like trying to make all these decisions on the fly. But if you hit this one, it'll stop the hacking from working. So you need to like go around that one. It's really cool. And it's just not very common in the 3D space, in the AAA space, to have new ideas. It's dangerous to do new ideas and expensive to do new ideas, which is why I'm so pleased that not only did they stick with Pragmata long beyond its expiration date, because the game obviously, and I'd love to know more about what wasn't working, like this idea that they had that just wasn't coming together, because it took them forever. Remember, this game was revealed at the PS5 reveal event, and it was the only game now from that event that has not come out. This was the second one, is Little Devil Inside. So Pragmata was that last remaining game, almost like a Deep Down style project, which was also Capcom from the PS4 era that never came out. So they saw something here and they stuck with it, and it was probably fairly expensive for them to do. I don't think anywhere near as expensive as a Western game, but it took years and it worked out. They've sold a few million copies of it now. It's awesome. I also noticed that about half of the people that play it beat it. That's pretty impressive. It's not a very long game, but that's not common for games that don't have stickiness. Even if a game is only 15 or 20 hours, people will lose track of it, and they're not losing track of it. And I think that that's a really good sign for the game. I think it could be finer. I think there's more to do here. It's why I'm excited to hear that the director wants to do another one, and I assume that they will do another one. I think from my perspective, Capcom has an IP here. I mean, this game is selling like better than a Street Fighter game, like time over time. It's pretty big. And it's also I've noticed getting into the mainstream a little bit, specifically because of the conversation around the father-daughter relationship and how gamers, isolated and loner as they are kind of, it's appealing to them. And I can see it. Like Diana, the character, is so cute and so, adorable, and you want to relate to her, but you kind of have to keep in mind she's a robot, and it's cool. But there's more to be done here. This is a very strong first showing, but what I would like to see in a follow-up is more dynamism. I think that like the game is not arcadey enough. It doesn't feel quite right. It's a little weird that a studio, or not a studio, but a publisher that puts out games like Devil May Cry or something, or even Monster Hunter, can't quite nail the third person action better. And I think they can do it a little better. And I think one of the things that isn't in the game, and I assume it's because it was probably breaking it, was melee. Like there is ultimately a melee attack that you get from like one of your mods, but like you can optionally use, but like there's no melee option. And I feel like it probably would break the game or make the game too easy. But I think there's something to be explored there in terms of melee action as well. And I do wonder where they'll set the next game and all the rest if they decide to do it. But it's a very special game. Got a really robust upgrade system, multiple types of currency. You find the Luna filament and you use that to upgrade. Like Hugh himself and Diana have like these 3 statistics that you upgrade, and they're very expensive to upgrade, but they're core. So it's like you have like a core gun that you use. You actually end up finding a different gun, but the core gun is the best gun in the game, and it has refillable ammo. So like it just fills itself back up over time. And then, so you upgrade that. You can upgrade your armor, which is about like, the damage you can take or whatever, and you can upgrade Diana's hacking abilities. And then there's this whole other setup, and you have this like home base where you can upgrade. So to upgrade Hugh with that, you use these like cubes, these yellow cubes. You use the Luna filament to upgrade like all the modifications you find. And you can equip these mod chips on Hugh, and it allows him to like get more health or do all these things. And you can upgrade them like very incrementally. You can upgrade like the amount of health slots you have for your healing packs and the slots you have for mods and all that. So there's all of this shit to spend money on and reasons to kind of go back to old areas. And the game is very friendly. It's actually surprisingly friendly and fairly straightforward. I'm interested in playing it on hard, which I'll do, because it's almost too friendly, where there's like these like ladders that lead you back to the hub world. And there's like, they're constantly, you find them. So there's no real danger, and you go back and heal and go back right back to where you were. There's a lot of collectibles to find, which is cool if you're into that sort of thing. I am. And if you find all the collectibles, this isn't a spoiler per se, it's something you should know. If you find all the spoilers, you unlock this entirely different part of the game. And it's an epilogue. And it's really neat. And then if you beat the game after you beat the epilogue, you get a whole different ending.
Okay, cool.
So there's like more to it than that. I don't want to say whole different ending. There's an important supplement to the ending. Very important. That you will only see if you do it that way. It's called like the Lost Echo or something like that, the epilogue. And it's basically a series of challenges. There's this character, Cabin. I don't know if you met him yet. It's a robot character. And
I can't
there's
recall.
like, he has this bingo game that he plays with you.
Oh yeah, dude. I love the bingo,
which is kind of cool. So you find like bingo coins. And you get more bingo coins for doing like there's 30 in-game challenge stages. And doing them and doing certain things on them unlock a bunch of currency, including these coins, and then use these coins to unlock armor and costumes and new mod chips. And you unlock these red keys that allow you into certain special rooms around the entire world where there's like special challenges. This is why I was saying, I'm like 10 hours. Like there's no way like you did everything in this game in 10 hours. It's not possible. So I highly recommend Pragmata.
Yeah,
like absolutely 100% highly recommend it. And I think it would be between that. I got to really look, I guess. So let me see to make sure I'm not talking out of my ass, but it's got to be game of the year up there with Resident Evil. I don't know which one I would put first, and I don't know that it will end up there ultimately, but it seems like a contender for sure. And I'm surprised. I just continue. I know it's getting old. It actually is a joke that I keep bringing up Capcom in terms of like giving them credit, but it's like, I don't know what they're doing, man, but they're fucking killing it. And it's not over
for a while too.
It's not over this year for them. Onimusha's still coming, and that might be the biggest one now, not sales wise, but for me, that might be the biggest one. Now, let me look here. So Saros came out this year. Vampire Crawlers, Mouse PI is definitely up there for me. I think that game is fucking awesome. But other than that, Lovish is certainly one of those games I'm going to be talking about at the end of the year. I haven't played that many. I played a lot of games this year, but not many that have come out this year. So it's fairly easy to put Pragmata at or near the top of that list as the game to beat.
All right.
So shout out to Pragmata. Shout out to Capcom.
Yeah.
And shout out to little Diana.
Shout out Diana. Yeah.
Hugh wouldn't have survived without her.
Yeah,
in fact, she saves his life in the very, very beginning. So,
yep.
You like it more than Resident Evil too?
Well, that's what I was saying. Is like I think it would be between those two things. Resident Evil 9 is, or Requiem, whatever, is really fucking good. Like, but that's the thing. It's like I don't know. Capcom wins either way, I guess.
Sure.
Right now.
Yeah.
And it would be 1-2 for those two games.
Yeah.
But Requiem was extraordinarily good.
Are you gonna play First Light or
I'll play that next. We got to get these Pragmata and Saro spoiler casts off the table. We got to do them this week. And then or they're just not going to happen, and we can accept that too, because I just can't have these things lingering over me anymore. And because I don't like getting too far ahead of myself, because then I forget the games. So
sure.
Yeah, I think 007 will be next alongside with continue with Mina. And I'm not really even entirely sure what's after that's coming that I'm interested in. I'm sure there's something. I also wanted, Lego Batman. I was reading a little bit about it, and it sounds like it sounds kind of like they've streamlined Lego games to a way where I'm like, oh, like there's only apparently 8 characters in it. 7. Yeah. And I'm like, that's dope. And it's more about the world and the collectibles and all that. I'm like, yeah, maybe. And I like Batman a lot. So I might. It was basically
an Arkham game, original story too. I love that game. I almost embarrassed to say, but that's probably my game of the year so far. Lego Batman. I love that game. It was so cool, and I didn't expect, because it was like the combat was straight up lifted from Arkham, and it was an original story. Great, and like you said, they streamlined the Lego stuff. No fixed cameras anymore, so you could just run around. It beautiful. Yeah,
because I Lego Star Wars, which was 22, I guess.
Oh, the Skywalker.
Yeah, I was just like, I did it to myself, but I started with the prequels because I'm like, I'm never going to do them. I want to do it in order, and I'm never going to do them if I don't do them now. And I think I got like halfway through Attack of the Clones, and I'm like, I can't do this. And so I
did the exact same
thing. I want to get back to it at some point, because I do like the Lego games. There's something very cheerful and easygoing, not necessarily easy, but just easygoing and low stakes and very attractive to me. Like I've loved those games since the PS2 era. And I remember when the original trilogy came to Wii in a collection, and I loved that version of the game. So yeah, I have a little soft spot for Lego games, and I'd like to get to Lego Batman at some point.
Nice. Are you interested in Black Flag, the remake?
No,
or
No.
not? No?
I mean, I probably would like it, especially because it's a remake and it'll probably fix a lot of things. But I'm like, I'm just not. I've let go of Assassin's Creed. Not for any other reason, but I'm like, I can't do all of it. I can't have all of it. I can't do everything. I got to let go of some of these series, and that's one of them that I have. Actually, Black Flag would be the logical next one I would play, because I only ever played 1, 2, 3, and Liberation.
Yeah.
So
this is 4. Yeah.
All right.
It's also completely standalone, because they got rid of the current day stuff in this one, so it's a completely standalone game.
Yeah, I know, and most of them I think can be played like a la carte, but I just I haven't. I always wanted to play the. I bought it actually when it was on sale years ago. Was the Syndicate? Was that the one that was in like London? Steampunk London? Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got a 60 FPS update too. Sorry.
All right, let's end the show. Some write-ins from the audience. If you want to write into the show, I post a thread usually every Saturday on our Patreon, except for when Colin's on. That's sometimes on Fridays or whatever, just depending when we record. Hiring Colin to power wash a murder scene wrote and said, "Hey, Summoners, with the job is a job. With Sero sales being lower than anticipated, where should Housemarque go from here? Let's assume Sony keeps the studio open. What does the studio need to do to break into the mainstream? I think their best option is to abandon the roguelite elements and maybe focus on bringing their kinetic gameplay and boss fight approach into more of a From Software type game. Thoughts?"
No, I don't want that for them. I don't know what's next for them. I mean, I'm going to ask. They won't answer, I'm sure. I think doing more of this is a mistake. I think they have to try something new now. They've been good traditionally about moving on to new things and trying new ideas and then going back to old ideas and kind of reviving them. So it's not to say they can't go back to this later, but From Soft, no, like they have to stay in the arcade realm. They have to know what they are. I think it's cool for them to try to do something more than that. if they want to do something like truly linear and story driven or whatever. I just don't know that's what we really want out of Housemarque. I think one of the things that's special about them, and one of the things that scared them away from the battle royale they were making for all those years, Storm Chasers, or whatever the fuck it was called, was what was it called? It wasn't called Storm Chasers, like Storm Divers. And it's like, you are what you are. Embrace it. You do good work. I am a little worried about them. I don't know that I really should be, because I think Sony is hopefully wise enough to know what they have. With Housemarque, the game seems to have sold a little soft, Saros. It's not a huge surprise. I wonder what their expectations were. It took, let's see, May, June, July. I think it took like 3.5 months for Returnal to sell 500,000. And I imagine they're probably on a similar trajectory. It's just that there's way more PS5s out now. So I don't think that that's a great look. And so I don't think there's any imperative to continue down this path. But when I think about them going from Stardust to Dead Nation, for instance, it's like those are radically different games, and it will be cool for them to do that again. Show us what you want to do. I'm sure they have great ideas. So hoping the best for them, but I hope Sony doesn't, I don't think they're totally safe, unfortunately. I mean, that's just my gut feeling. But I hope that's not. I hope that they've done all the bloodletting they needed to do to stabilize.
I want to see them do their version of a Metroid game, how they would handle that. Specifically like a 3D Metroid.
Yeah, I was going to say like Metroid Prime.
Yeah. How they would handle that.
Yeah.
With their arcadey nature and all that kind of stuff, how they would tackle it.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. For sure.
Any thoughts, Lockmort?
It's one of those studios I don't have any affinity for. Like I've never played their games. Like I played a little of Returnal. It wasn't for me. I didn't even buy Saros because it looked like more of the same.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised to hear everyone say that they're not enjoying it. That's what I'm hearing.
It's not that I'm not enjoying or anything like that. It's just not captivating me as much as Returnal did.
Yeah, Returnal was special. Sure. I don't think this game is anywhere on that level, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Again, the playing the game is excellent. I mean, that is a core. It's excellent. It feels excellent. It's just like the trappings of it. It's weird. There's a lot of weird shit in the game. I don't know. I have a lot of questions about it. And I still have to get the real ending too. I haven't gotten the real ending yet.
Yeah. Gene's nut-stained Xbox Helix shirt. Hey, Gene said he came all over his Helix shirt. So there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's like way too much information. All right, let's.
Hey, submitters, I have a concern that people are just trashing on Xbox for social media points now. I find it kind of confusing that everyone was mad at Xbox for not being consistent, transparent, and honest. Now everyone is up in arms over Asha admitting the third-party logos were not smart. As a mostly PlayStation user since PS2, I find it very difficult to grasp what games or what gamers really want from Xbox in terms of leadership and their ability to tell players what is actually happening in the Xbox building.
The players want them to die. No, okay, that's my bad Dr. Evil impression.
Oh, to die.
Yeah. I don't know what people really want from them either. I know what I want from them is to just be consistent. You're talking about not being consistent, transparent, and honest. Well, they weren't consistent. They were that you are literally describing a massive inconsistency on a planned podcast that they programmed and put out. They don't know what they're doing. And they should have gone for a different leader. Like, not necessarily this, there's nothing wrong with this woman. It's that, like, just do the exact opposite of what they were doing last time. Just don't talk anymore. We don't need to hear from you. And you didn't even just setting everyone up for disappointment. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was saying, you didn't even need to do this little podcast that they had. It's like, you could have just been like, during the live show at the very top, just be like, we're not going to be sharing any news about Helix here today or something like that. That's all you needed to do, and just let it roll. But I think it's like you said, they just can't stop talking for some reason. Yeah, I mean, like,
are people fixated and focused on them on social media and on all these shows? Definitely, but they give a lot of things to talk about. I mean, to be fair,
they sure do.
There's very little to say about Sony right now, and people will be like, well, that's Sony for you. And I'm like, yeah, kind of. I mean, they'll be more deliberate. I'm telling you, like, their strategy has to be constructed around doing the exact opposite. It's like, it's just so obvious. It's like, yeah, why bother? Why even say anything at all?
Yeah. Any thoughts, Lockmort?
Well, we already discussed it earlier.
We did,
I think that I think the way he posed the question, I have a little bit of an issue with, because I think the opposite is happening. I think a lot of people, like myself, want to be positive for Xbox now. It's them that are ruining it for themselves again by engaging in conversations with the wrong people again, which they shouldn't do. It's very easy not to reply to people tagging you on Twitter. So
right. I mean,
I don't know why she keeps
let's be
doing
clear.
that.
Like Asha made Matt Booty look like an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else. Like, what he looks like an idiot.
I know,
because they had this whole thing. You know, they've rehearsed it and they've media trained it. Like, what are you going to say about? So Jeff Rubenstein's going to ask you about exclusive games, or about not about branding. And it's like, all right, so what are you going to say? And it's like, well, we want to be transparent. It's about the games, and we want to support the developers where they put their games and all this thing. And then it's like, no, Ash was like, no, that's nonsense.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. Smart.
or at least she said that's on me. I own it. I
well,
guess,
yeah, the buck stops somewhere, but she has to say that. I don't care what she says. Like, they didn't know.
It would be funny if she's like, Matt was wrong or something like that.
I feel like she's getting like wrong advice, because she seems like a very smart and capable person, and then there's this idiot next to her who tells her like, reply to this guy on Twitter, and then it gets ruined.
Yeah, put this masthead up on Twitter of all the craziest people's names.
Yeah,
and empower them. That's good. That really worked well for Xbox One and Xbox Series X. I'm sure it's going to do great for Helix to go down this primrose path again. It's like, God Almighty, man. It's frustrating. I mean, she's got a contract and she has a charge, no doubt, and she can do what she's got to do, I guess. But we'll see what happens.
Yep.
She seems smart. I feel like she seems smarter than all the other ones that they've had so far. So but yeah, like you said, there's not much they can do.
I don't think she knows what she doesn't know. I think that's her massive disadvantage, comparable to Phil Spencer. Yeah. She's obviously incredibly smart and accomplished. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. It's just a matter of can she translate? She's a mercenary. Right. I mean, I said that at the very beginning. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There are executive mercenaries all over the industry. I was reading about how Arby's CEO was the CEO of, like, what was it? It was like something crazy before that. It was like something like Lowe's or something. It's like, what? It's because like their skills translate to these very specific tasks. And so she's I don't think she's like an Xbox lifer by any stretch of the imagination. I imagine she'll be there for a few years and then be out.
Yeah.
Either leave on her own or be gone.
All right. Let's see here. Phoenix Down 711 wrote and said, hello, scions of the seventh stand. Ecstatic to see two Summon gamers playing 14. One of my favorite games with some of my favorite characters of all time. I have a very broad question that has likely been covered before, but I figured a man could dream. Who is your favorite video game character of all time? Mine has to be Cecil from Final Fantasy IV.
Good choice.
With his transition from Dark Knight to Paladin, tugging on my gamer heartstrings.
I loved when they changed the portrait.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool. Wow. So that's a great choice.
Final Fantasy IV, pretty great game. Pretty great.
It's got to be Mega Man for me, although I think from a story perspective, it's got to be some role-playing game character, I would assume. 4 is a good... the thing about 4 and 6 and my love of them is they kind of have these ensemble casts, and so there's really no main... I mean, Cecil is kind of the main character, but like it's much more vague in 6, where it's like it could be Locke, Celis.
I feel like Terra kind of is. But
yeah, Terra's on the box. So.
Yeah.
Edgar.
Stardust her. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's got like her and Locke, I think, are kind of the most central characters. But yeah, so I don't know for sure, but Cecil is a great choice. Yeah. Great character.
Okay.
One of the first characters, Dagan would always argue this is like one of the first characters that had like a personality in a game. And like you could figure out what, like Edge was like very sarcastic and biting and young, brash.
Yeah.
And came through for the first time. Really love that.
Yeah. Lockmort.
I think it's either the cop-out answer is Arthur Morgan.
Arthur.
A classic.
I think that's exactly. So I don't want to say that. I think my favorite character of all time is Saravok. That's like the villain of Baldur's Gate 2. It's one of the most relatable villains of all time. I can't give away why, but he's like a Darth Vader type character.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
For me, my favorite character is Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. I love his whole... Well, it's a couple things. Obviously, aesthetically, especially at the time, fucking awesome design. Incredible. An iconic design that still stands out today. I love his character arc, which I won't get into. But some things about what he thinks and that whole plot lines, all that kind of stuff, I really liked. Very surprising, especially for the time. And yeah, he's just, as those kids say now, he's got the aura. That's for sure. Gary Clark wrote in and said, "What up, Brad? What's up with everyone still talking about Spider-Man 2's writing? Are we really playing Spider-Man for the writing? I think the gameplay and characters are great. Love the game. Trying to figure out the hate for the game now. Kind of weird. That Spider movies never were the best writing. Just some fun summer flicks. Love the show. Thanks."
Well, I think that it's overwrought too. I think the Spider-Man 2 is one of those games that's kind of woke. We were talking about earlier, but I do think it's a great game. Actually, I think this probably comes from multiple things. Spider-Man 2 is a massive seller. It's one of, I think it's probably, I have to look because there was a chart a while ago. It's maybe the third best selling PlayStation published game ever or something. It sells hundreds of thousands of copies a month. And I think it's constantly getting in new people's hands. So I think there's a lot of conversation about that. I think the most biting thing you can say perhaps is maybe the writing is just that bad. Although that it resonates with people. I don't agree, but it is a talking point where you have to understand that maybe you're not the mean person, like the median player. And I think people have expectations out of Sony games as well. So I think that also has something to do with
from a narrative perspective.
Like Ratchet and Clank's not badly written. And I don't think Spider-Man 1 really had any problems from people either.
No, it was a great story. Spider-Man 1 had a great story.
So I think when we'll get Spider-Man 3, and that will be an interesting response. That'll probably be a PS6 game, and I imagine it'll be, because I think what's going to happen, we'll get Wolverine, and then I think Venom will be the cross-gen Miles game that will come out at launch for PS6, and then it'll probably lead into Spider-Man, and then that will ultimately lead into X-Men, which is where they're going, unless those plans have changed, which is possible.
Right. Yeah, I think Spider-Man 2 is a weird game for me, where it's like the gameplay was super fun, but once I beat that game, I completely forgot everything about it. It like left my mind super quickly. No narrative moments really stand out for me in that game. So yeah, and like just the writing and like, I mean, I'm not playing Spider-Man like he said for the story, but it's there and there's a lot of it in the game. So when there's stuff that's unappealing to you, it's going to stand out.
There were two moments in that game that literally made me laugh out loud, which never happened or hardly ever happens when playing a game. That was when you played as the deaf black girl.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Spraying her graffiti. I get it. It's like cool, but not in a Spider-Man game. Like, come on, fuck off. That's just stupid to put that in
I'm
there.
already like wondering why we're playing as Mary Jane so much in this game.
And why Mike thinks is so annoyed about how they made Mary Jane like uglier. In a way,
yeah,
it's like, why did you do that? No, I hate saying that.
Yeah.
It's some motion capture person.
It's like, no, they just changed her face like dramatically.
Well, it just bothers me because I was saying to her, I'm like, she's supposed to be the girl next door. She's a model in the comics. She's supposed to be hot.
Yeah,
like she's supposed to be. It doesn't mean she's an idiot or she can't be smart or be capable person. It's that she's like the classic girl next door. It's okay.
She sure ain't in the game. That's for sure.
It's weird. It's just weird. Like, why is that a problem?
Yeah. Locke, what was the other part?
The other part is there's a random NPC, or this happens a lot of times in the games, actually, when you rescue a random NPC. This clip is all over our YouTube, but I had it in my game too. Everybody had it. You rescue this random NPC. The ambulance comes, they take him away, and he says, "Oh, thank you for saving me, Spider-Man. By the way, my husband loves you." Just to tell you that he's gay. Like they have to
right.
They have to, like,
it's exactly because it's becoming people's personality, and that's a problem. And that is woke.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, I get it, you're gay. I get it. No one cares. No one cares.
Exactly.
No one cares.
Exactly.
No one cares. No one cares.
Yeah.
Enough. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly it. Because the game, I think. Without that, the game also had issues with like one of the villains just disappearing before the end, or the other villains not really being fleshed out. And the Venom parts were great, but also, well, no spoilers, of course. But I do have a lot of issues with that game. I think the gameplay is still great, but I think the story in that game is
really
like,
fun.
Yeah, it's fun as hell.
Laughable at that certain point. Yeah.
And I think people are a little hard on it personally, but.
I do like Miles a lot, but the same thing with with the flag, with the situation with the Cuban flag.
It was a Puerto Rico. It was a Cuban flag instead of a Puerto Rico. Yeah, they don't even know.
Yeah,
that is
exactly.
funny.
They don't even know. They just do that stuff to
forgot about
pander
that.
to people. They don't even know.
Yeah, it's that's weird shit to get through. I'm surprised at that. Insomniac's pretty thoughtful. It's a bad mistake, but they were able to fix it. I mean, thank God they didn't print. It's not the PS2 era where that would be just in the game forever.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah,
that is so funny.
I think Spider-Man 1 is a seminal game. It's a fantastic
Oh, it's great.
game.
That was Insomniac's comeback.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like when they really solidified themselves. And unfortunately, now they're going to be in Marvel hell for the rest of their fucking existence. But that is what it is. I mean, I don't blame Sony, and I don't blame Insomniac.
I don't blame them, but it's like, come on, man.
But at least like the X-Men game has a lot of potential. I feel like that could be like so many things. That doesn't have to be like a Wolverine or a Spider-Man game. That could be anything, right?
I guess.
Yeah, it could be open. It could be open world, but like maybe you play as the different characters, and maybe it could be multiplayer even, or co-op, or I don't know. There's a lot of options.
Oh man, that makes me nervous. But yeah, it'll probably be.
Well, they have been obsessed with doing co-op in these games since the beginning, and they just haven't done it yet because there's code in even the first game for multiplayer that people discovered when the game came to PC, where it's like there's a lot of like legacy shit in there that they didn't turn on, and plus they were making the multiplayer game The Great Web, which they canceled.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, they're going to do it. And I don't think it's a bad idea. I just think you have to do it like a game where you can play as Peter and Miles together, for instance, is pretty cool.
Oh,
I think. Or a game where you can play as like the Beast and Gambit and Jean Grey at the same time or whatever and go around. That'd be kind of cool. But you don't have to.
Yeah.
Don't
have to. All right, boys. That's it. We are done. Another episode in the books. Thank you both for joining me on a Sunday.
No, it's my pleasure. Good to be here. And thank you for having me. It's good to see you guys.
Tomorrow,
by the way, Locke, someone said something nice to you about you earlier, and we got sidetracked on the AC thing. But I am glad you're welcome, obviously, on all the shows. You're doing a great job, and I wanted to say that as well. And so I'm sorry I wasn't able to follow up on that earlier. And Brad, you're doing a great job as well. Thank you. Everyone's. It's a joke now with the comments people leave about.
I know. LSM people really love to run a joke into the ground.
Yeah, they really do. They really do.
They really do, man.
Then again, so do I. So I can understand.
Yeah, it's okay. It is what it is. It's no big deal. But yeah, thanks for joining me. Tomorrow, Colin, me, we're going to be recording some bets or streaming bets.
Yep.
Because the state of play is Tuesday. By the time you guys hear this, of course, you'll already seen that.
Yep. So
exciting times coming up.
Yeah, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, state of play. Are you guys going to stream a lot of those things, or for like Summer Game Fest, like the Xbox thing?
Yeah, we're going to stream PlayStation and Xbox, I think. But I think that's it.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all it's there as far as I'm aware.
Oh, Maybe Jeff isn't doing anything or anything like that?
No, he's doing his thing. Yeah, you guys aren't going to do the. You guys aren't going to do the Jeff Keighley?
Oh, I guess so. I don't know. When is that? I'm more focused on the individuals.
I think that
Friday.
This Friday, the 5th.
Xbox,
yeah, and Xbox is like Saturday.
Yeah.
Right?
We probably will do that. Actually, we got invited to like a neighbor's kid's graduation party, and we have to go on that Saturday. But I got to figure out the time of when we'll need to be back for that, because I do want to see the Xbox one. So yeah, we probably will do all of that. It's going to be a very busy week because we have to get the Saros and Pragmata shit recorded as well. So we got to do it.
And I'll be there at Summer Game Fest, so maybe I'll see some of you there.
Cool.
Maybe.
Very exciting.
Cool.
Who knows? But yeah. All right, everybody, we're out of here. Oh, I guess any final words, thoughts, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yes, go to Brad's channel and watch his wonderful new video. It's amazing.
It's
awesome. It's a great video.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I hate plugging my own shit.
Oh, you should do it.
I know.
I'm not a natural self-promoter either. So.
Yeah, I'm not. I feel like an asshole, and I shouldn't, but I do. It's just the way it is. But yeah, we're out of here. Thanks, everybody. See you next time. Take care, and goodbye.
Bye.
Summon Sign is a product of Last Stand Media and Colin's Last Stand LLC and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show is written and hosted by me, Brad Ellis. The show is produced by Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. Summon Sign, along with the rest of Last Stand's media shows, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest tier, and we are grateful for your kind contribution and generosity to our independent endeavor. Thank you.